Welcome to Unrolled, episode 74. Coming to you on time. Barely.
Are we on time?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Where's my phone?
I don't know.
It's in my pocket.
It's in your pocket. My name is Mike. Chuck's across the way, and Drew's to my left. And our guest, our special guest today. Introduce yourself, Thomas.
Hi, I'm Thomas.
Yep.
Recently moved to Alton. I perform as Reverend Gunn for Show Deluxe.
Nice.
Yeah, Hollywood's own and only carnival-style sideshow.
What's your show name?
Show Deluxe.
No. What'd you say?
My name?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm your Right Reverend Gunn, Minister of the Macabre, Parson of the Phantasmagorical, the Apostle of the Appalling, the Vicar of Victimization, the Pastor of the
Calm the fuck down.
Certainly, object of your affections. I had a lot of coffee this morning.
Calm down, Rob Zombie.
He's quite the orator.
All right. We're ready to fire up now.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was told before I came. My lady said not to talk too much.
Not to talk too much?
Yeah,
Oh,
and I said between me and Mike, no one will get in a word.
On a podcast? I don't talk much on this
He
podcast.
actually doesn't talk much.
No.
In fact, I talked most of it last week, I think.
Well, yeah.
So we kind of take turns.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. So feel free to stop me if I'm talking too much.
Drew takes notes and brings his notepad. I show up
Were you
here
a
on
cop?
time.
What are you, a cop?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
What are you, a cop? Here's another one. So Thomas here moved from Dayton, Ohio. Mm-hmm. Before Dayton, Ohio, Thomas was where?
Hollywood, California.
Hollywood, California. So, what'd you do in Hollywood, California?
In Hollywood, we had Freak Show Deluxe, which I still run, and Freak Show Deluxe is still based in Hollywood.
Nice.
It is the classic carnival sideshow acts. Hardly any of that classic carny sideshow smell.
Gotcha.
Hardly.
Read it.
And
Now,
go ahead.
now, why would I come to see your show when I'm in California and the whole state's full of freaks anyway?
Because it's surprisingly not as full of freaks as you'd think it was. I thought Freak Show Deluxe was actually started in Ohio, and then I moved it out to L.A., and I thought, stiff competition. We're not, I'm going to be lucky to get any work. There were no other shows like ours. There was a few individual performers here and there, and then most of them actually joined up with us.
Right.
Joined the company, but they're like doing stuff like we do. There's hardly any. There's a lot of people who like to think they're freaks.
Right.
But they're not.
They're not.
And most of California is actually agriculture.
So for
Yes,
Yeah.
it is. More than people believe.
More than people.
There's a lot of trailer parks in California, too, and they don't like to admit that either.
Oh no, but there are.
Simi Valley. I learned that from
Oh yeah.
They hate to admit it. They do not like to admit it at all.
So and you're a freak. What's going on here? So for the people that are watching, are we up to like 7 or 8 watchers? So
Thousands, thanks to Drew.
yeah. So well, all we had to do is get a good-looking guy in here, and then next thing you know, we started getting views.
When did we get a good-looking guy in here?
Well, when Drew came in,
Not me.
yeah, Drew's our handsome guy. All right, I had a surgery, so nobody cares about me anymore.
Your definition and my definition are very, very different.
So anyway, no. What are we doing? No, damn it. What was his name? I'm drawing.
Whose name?
No, Jeremy. Sorry,
Oh,
I
no
drew a
Jeremy?
blank. Yeah, no Jeremy. You're good looking.
Oh,
dude.
no, Jeremy.
Yeah, no Jeremy.
That's hilarious.
You're a good looking dude. So for the people that are watching, what is a freak show? Tell us kind of like what the act is.
So the freak shows were originally toured with circuses back at the height of the circus movement, and then later with carnivals, where essentially carnivals were all the collections of sideshows, the shows of different kinds, without the actual circus being there.
Nice.
And this was before really the advent of rides and stuff. But you're really looking at like the height of entertainment in the 1920s and 30s in rural America.
I should have dressed like the 1920s. Damn it.
Coulda. Oh, that would have been awesome.
I know. I got to wear that shit Saturday.
Pants are really high though. Anyway, so they would show things you wouldn't normally see in your daily life. So you might have human anomalies. We do have Freak Show Deluxe does have as part of our company bearded ladies, a lobster boy, some
A lobster boy?
little people. Oh yeah, got electrodactyl, so he only has 2 fingers and a thumb on each hand.
Was that like born?
Yeah,
or?
born that way. Born that way. Natural borns. Those freaks like that are called natural borns. Then you have your made freaks,
right?
Tattooed, like people who are
You
heavily tattooed. You're not
freak.
You're not even close.
You're,
Oh,
you,
I wasn't gunning for it.
yeah.
No, he's talking about that guy that's got the puzzle pieces all over him.
Or the guy that
he's got
the guy
epidermis.
the guy that tired himself and
Yeah.
the guy tired himself, yeah.
and then robbed a bunch of stores and you're like, how did I get caught?
He's got all the. I think they call them subdermals. There's
Yeah.
the guy with puzzles has all the subdermals all over the
Okay.
place.
All right.
Yep. And so the maid freaks are those
Okay.
cats, and also your fat people, for lack of a better word. That's what they were marketed as.
Right.
And then your working acts, your Western stuff, ropes, bullwhips, your human blockheads, your bed of nails, the classic fakir stunts. So, and that's what Freak Show Deluxe specializes in. We do have natural borns.
Right.
We bring in self-made freaks, but I don't think we have any regular part of it. And then a lot of different working acts.
Nice.
And our people, we have a good company, and a lot of people have been on a lot of TV shows and touring and stuff, not just with us, but with other people.
I looked at your website the other night, and it showed all the shows that you guys have been on, really around the world. Mm-hmm. Right. So, what is your favorite act to do yourself?
Yeah, that's one of my questions.
Oh,
excellent. All right.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'll jump in on that. The
Like, just for you to perform, what do you...
an act that I really enjoy performing. I enjoy performing a lot of them for different reasons, but the one that I enjoy performing the most is the human blockhead, which is the pounding of the 6-inch steel spike into the center of the skull, sometimes a screwdriver in through the other side. It's an act that involves a lot of audience participation. Like, I'll bring up a member of the audience because I have to prove that it's not magic.
Right.
That's
right.
the thing. There's no magic. There's no illusion. It's the real deal.
So you're putting...
what's happening.
So just so we can back up a little bit, you put a nail in your head or a screwdriver in your head?
Both.
Both.
Simultaneously. I don't want to...
Simultaneously.
Spoilers for the act when we do it.
What about a pen?
A pen?
Yeah.
Like an ink pen?
Like an
ink pen.
Like an ink pen? I don't know. It's pretty good stuff.
No, so
yeah, this looks
That's not clean.
clean.
I got nails in back.
they're just as clean as that.
I got some stuff out in the car, but it's I'm promoting because Freak Show Deluxe. We're going to do some shows locally.
Yep.
And I want you to come out and check. I want everyone to come check them out.
So locally, I know you're doing some small shows, or we've talked about doing some small shows around here.
Absolutely.
And so, like, how many people would be at, let's say, I know we're doing the farmers market at some
Farmers
point.
market on May 20th.
May 20th. So on that show, like, you're not bringing the whole company, obviously.
No. Our shows are normally, we'll have between 2 and 4 people,
Performers.
maybe 5.
Mostly performers. Working acts. Right?
Performers, mostly working acts. And even our people who are human anomalies, they still do acts. So our bearded lady dances on a pile of broken glass. Tells her story a little bit about her and dances on broken glass. And a couple of the other acts, the professor, who's the other talker. So if it's a show that I'm not at, we try to put the professor there. He's a little person, and he is actually a professor. At USC, and he's a great guy, super nice, super hot. The Brad Pitt of little people.
The Brad Pitt of little people.
And
if we get him on, we'll get more thousands.
Oh yeah, he'll get a lot more
followers.
Well, you put a little person on, you're going to get a bunch of hits anyway.
Well, we got you.
People like little. You ain't no taller than I am. There's two little people on here.
But I was faster at saying it.
Oh, so we get busy enough through the fall months, especially. We'll have 3 or 4 shows out on the road simultaneously.
Right.
So my partner Alice she'll take a show and head off to one place, and I'll be running a show somewhere else. And actually, our kids have been on stage since. I mean, my daughter Charlotte, who's 15 now, the day she got out of the hospital for being born, she was at a show.
Nice.
She wasn't very helpful, but she was at a show.
Yep. My kid rode in a car that shouldn't have been driving on the way home from the hospital.
See, there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of life.
Yeah, it's the life, man. When people ask like, how do you get into it? I'm like, well, you're in it.
You're in it,
You're in it, whether
Right.
you want to be or not.
Very cool. Very cool. Drew, you got. Sorry, I don't want to keep going and take all your questions. So,
Oh no.
So Drew's been having a lot of guests on that he knows, so he was able to ask some questions there, and he goes, "Hey, are you going to do the questions?" And I said, "No, go ahead." So Drew had to do a little research to formulate questions.
I'm very excited about this, Drew.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not all of them are about the freak show. Some of them are just normal questions.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
But you still have a geek?
Do we? I don't do, actually.
What's a geek?
Geek is a act where you would eat animals, birds, whatever. In the movies, he bites the heads off chickens and stuff like that.
Right.
Though the story about it is true. Did you see, what was that movie that Guillermo del Toro just remade? Nightmare Alley.
I have seen that.
Yeah.
That's a very good movie.
Oh, it's a great movie. And I like both versions. I think both versions are really
Honestly, I didn't know there was an old one.
Yeah, that old black and white one is really good. That
I have to look for it.
The Geek is just this, a carnival would roll into town and they'd find the old wino or whatever in town and just pay him a jug of wine every day to bite the heads off chickens for crowds, stuff like that. And we've done some geek acts in the past of eating bugs and eating worms and that kind of stuff. But I've really tried really hard to get away from stuff with animals.
Sure.
On stage. So people always want a snake charmer. I'm like, I'm not comfortable doing that.
Snake charmer.
Snake charmer. I mean, we know some, and they're all.
That's what I call myself in the morning. This is actually my only role here.
Is your only role here?
Is to try to derail
You
conversation.
didn't go with
as much
like
as
snake
possible.
charmer. I mean, that was my name back in high school.
Right.
That's why he's single.
Yeah, that's why I'm single.
So he went. But we don't want to hurt chickens and stuff, especially, and there's ways to fake biting the head off a chicken too.
Really?
So, which is.
We don't want to get into industry secrets.
Chickens are brutal, man.
Chickens are brutal.
They don't give a
They're
shit.
mini dinosaurs. They don't care about you.
But you could do like a Fear Factor kind of thing, where they eat
Roaches?
Yeah, I mean, no
dicks.
one seems to really
Where they
care
eat
about like
horse
bugs.
dicks or something like
Horse
that.
dicks. I was like, why are we eating dicks?
Spotted.
That's a
It's
segment
got
we don't have
bags of
yet.
them, yeah.
I'm single and we eat dicks.
Right.
My DMs are open.
But that would,
Your DMs are.
people would pay to see that. I mean, they watched it on Fear Factor. Fear Factor was wildly popular. They
Oh,
did that
sure.
kind of shit.
Absolutely. I never watched it. I thought it was gross
Bull
as shit.
testicles, stuff like that.
There is a big difference between just doing the stuff, like we're off in the conversation about, do you do stuff like Jackass? I mean, Jackass made a lot of that stuff famous, and Steve-O was one who was out doing sideshow stunts, like at appearances and shows.
Right.
You can do that kind of thing when you're absolutely wasted out of your gourd every day.
Is that what
Correct.
Is that how you do it?
That's how he did it.
Well, fuck,
Right.
sign me up, bro.
Well, and it's a big difference. Like I
Can't
always
feel
say,
nothing.
doing the act, anyone can pound a 6-inch steel spike into their skull. The key is remaining unhurt. That's what makes it an act.
Right.
I mean, everybody can do it. You can do that act. You can only do it once.
Well, fair enough. So since we went a little morbid, has there been any crazy tragedies in your? How many years have you had this? 20.
Freak Show Deluxe has been around for 22 years.
2001, right? Is when it started.
Since 2001, yeah.
Oh, research man.
Oh, yeah, nicely.
He's our smart guy.
Oh, it's true. I can tell just from being here. For tragedies,
I mean, not to get super morbid, but
He
like,
wears the glasses anyway.
right? He does wear until yours come in.
my big one was I was on a big bed of nails, like a full-length coffin-shaped bed of nails. Had three 300-plus pound wrestlers standing on top of me, so over 1,000 pounds, and then one of them fell, slipped and fell.
And he
on
got
top of
hurt.
me. Yeah, a little bit. We have had.
Or did you get hurt?
People get hurt. I mean, I didn't feel great,
Right.
but I got up and finished the thing.
As you do.
So
you do.
The show must go on.
I mean, I know a number of people, significantly sword swallowers, who had catastrophic injuries on stage or during shows.
Oh, wow.
Piercing their esophagus, piercing their lungs. A guy who pierced his liver pretty recently.
Do you do sword swallowing? It sounds kind of dangerous.
Let me put it this way. I have swallowed a sword,
Right.
but I am not...
How you
I
doing?
would not call myself a sword swallower.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
That was a good one. But I don't call myself a sword swallower. I'm very claustrophobic, so I don't like it. And
Why would swallowing a sword and
you
claustrophobia?
can't. I mean, breathing, filling up my whole
Oh,
mouth,
okay.
mouth, throat,
All right.
down all the way down to your stomach.
I've never swallowed a sword, so I.
That's not what I heard. But okay.
Right. It's not the rumors going around town.
So,
Choked Linda Lovelace.
My Cash App is Weller Cigar.
DMs are open.
I have, but I don't do it as an act. And I got to talk. I got to watch my voice.
Oh, right on.
So if I can, I'd prefer to get someone else to swallow. And really, most audiences nowadays really want to see a female sword swallow.
Fuck yeah.
I know I do.
I see that on that's on Twitter.
Oh yeah.
It's probably on the hub.
They ain't swallowing
Tinder.
swords though.
Right. It's probably on the hub.
Mm-hmm.
Drew?
You wanna go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh man, okay. So I kind of found out, looking around in that. I mean, other countries it was a little earlier, but America, since about 1738, there's been freak shows. Here they weren't called freak shows. They were called what? Rarity shows, pit shows, kid shows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And P.T. Barnum, they say he was a freak show guy, but he never used the term freak
Right.
show.
Correct.
So, but he popularized it. Is that?
Yes, he's the one who made it the most popular. Now, because the word freak was never used for years, people who were human anomalies, who were born anomalies, were called monsters.
Away with it now.
Could what?
I'm surprised you're getting away with it now.
Well, I put a pin in that. I'm going to come back to that. But they were called monsters. And the exhibition of them, was a different thing, but they weren't called freak shows. I'm not. Did you find in your research when freak show sort of was the?
It said at the end of the 19th century, so after PT Barnum.
After PT, yeah.
But so my question really was, what's the biggest difference? Would you say now for the performers than it was back then?
I think the biggest thing now is so many people have seen these things on TV and movies and YouTube but it's a very different experience to see it there physically, to have that visceral experience of seeing something like that happen. And I actually last October had a 600-pound guy stand on top of me on the bed of nails, and it was. The hardest part was getting him up the steps.
Sure.
To get on top of me. And the audience was just his family, him. It was like a life experience for him. It was really blowing him away.
Guy.
Guy. So that's, I think that the audiences don't have the same amount of their, what do you call it? When you got to pay attention to stuff. What is it? What is that called? They're complaining the kids don't have these days.
Attention.
Thank you. The attention span is a lot shorter, so the acts is a lot more. But it's just a different way of trying to entertain people. Now,
the showmanship's not there on TV, though.
The showmanship is not there on TV. Yeah, you can tune on and watch some guy on YouTube, blow himself up, which I laugh hysterically every time I see somebody like with firecrackers all over them and light them off, and then they're all beat up. And it's terrible. Stop doing that, people. Don't do that.
Actually, keep going.
Yeah. Put it up there. But I hope you don't make any money off it.
Fucking morons.
Yeah.
I seen a guy with a jar one time.
Where's Jargo?
In pieces.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's like
a terrible injury.
Swallowing.
One guy, one jar. You ain't never seen? No. You should watch that right now.
Don't think I will.
Watch it right now.
Boofing a mason jar is a terrible idea.
Oh, terrible. Terrible idea.
And it goes.
Oh.
And then
mason jars are pretty thick.
That dude died, didn't he?
I don't know if he died or not.
I mean, would you? I would
that's
assume.
Ooh, that takes us to very morbid.
Right.
You know what? You know what we've never done on here before?
What's that?
We've never done a. What do they call that?
I like how we're really
reaction.
Oh
never
yeah.
done a reaction.
Oh. Fair.
So would you say that it seems to be that even though from the outside the performers maybe were to be taken advantage of, they're always well compensated, I feel like.
Yes. That is a big difference of now that if you are a human anomaly, it's very rare, but not unheard of, that the showman running the show would own that person and then keep all their stuff. There are some unscrupulous showmen out there, but not as many as there were. There used to be a lot of shows and a lot of stuff, but in the mid 70s, you got into, seeing a armless, legless person, as a human, as a sideshow freak.
Right.
When you really had people like that were having regular jobs and doing stuff. There was no longer, you weren't sending them off to an institution. You weren't hiding them in the attic or the basement, depending on where you lived in the country. And they're, people are out. People without legs, working, my friend with Electrodactyl, who does shows with us occasionally, great guy, is also a composer and such too. Has written a whole P.T. Barnum musical. He was working at a TV station. He could still work and still do things. So that whole idea of this is the only way they're going to make money, this is the only way they're going to do anything, has sort of gone by the wayside.
So scared.
And a lot of them were taken advantage of, especially when they were brought in as like a very young person, and then if they didn't have someone around them who cared about them, who was watching out for their money and watching out for them, they were in trouble. Kind of like Kanye West.
So it's kind of, but it is a family.
Kanye's been cloned.
He's what?
They murdered Kanye and cloned him.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's what the internet says.
That sounds terrible.
It's not terrible, but I feel, but he's got nobody. Even his clone, if it is his clone, has nobody looking out for him. They're just letting him do just ridiculous, stupid stuff. I don't even want to know what's going on over there. I'm watching the guy. But yeah, it is a family. You really do. You're on the road. It's just you guys. You're looking out for each other. The amount of rip-offs, the amount of people trying to take advantage, that really hasn't changed too much. Carnivals also, the carnival sideshows also went by the wayside with the introduction of rides, and thanks to the carnivals and the fairs that were way cheaper to run and way less personnel heavy than running shows.
Right.
So that made a big difference too. And now freak show's taken on other, everybody just uses it for everything. In fact, Alice one time had a job and she was saying, well, she runs a freak show, and everybody like flipped out. She said, what's the problem? Well, in that particular area where we were, that was synonymous for like a sex show.
Mm. Oh.
And then,
man, how disappointed would I be if
yeah,
I showed up
right?
thinking
exactly. And kids driving around like doing donuts in middle crowds and stuff like that. Those were called, for a while when I was looking up on YouTube, if I put in the word freak show, like that.
Oh, sideshow. You're talking about
or sideshow, yeah.
Yeah, they call them sideshows.
They call them street takeovers, don't they?
So
now
street
they do.
takeovers, sideshows, shit like that.
We just called it Wednesday.
Yeah. I've never heard it called freak show before. I've heard it called sideshow before. I've heard a lot of car shows being called freak shows before, but
right.
But
and everybody used, we're having a big circus, like that isn't it?
That's not, yeah.
Like,
right.
it's a freak show. This isn't a freak show. I'm just disappointed.
So
they call these car shows freak shows, and then they only invite 72 and down.
Right.
So you can't even bring anything but what they...
Yeah.
So, bunch of fucking posers.
Mike already got to your favorite kind of act, but what is your favorite type of performer, since there's so many different kinds?
Hot ones. I like attractive performers. Kind of performers.
Honesty.
They bring in the most money.
They do. I like professional performers who show up on time, do their job, don't create any drama,
Okay, fair.
like their pay, and take care of business. That's what I like.
So did you move to Alton because we had
Customer?
because we had a hometown freak who literally was toured around the country and people paid admission to see this guy?
Who was also very well taken care of and compensated. Smart family.
Mr. Wadlow?
Yes,
that?
Mr.
Robert
Wadlow.
Wadlow. Yeah.
Okay.
We didn't know that when we did it. I mean, essentially, we threw a dart at a map. I mean, we had certain things that had to happen for where we were going to move to.
Right.
And Alton was right at the spot.
Nice.
Of all the stuff that had to happen, and we were like, let's go. And then we stared researching, and then we were like, wow, this is way
There's a bunch of fucking freaks
very
here.
cool. We really like it, and we got here just before Thanksgiving, and we've been having just a great time.
Nice. Do you know who sponsored Robert Wadlow? One of his sponsors? The International Shoe Company.
I didn't even know. Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Shoes.
yeah.
I didn't even know that he toured around the country.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I didn't know that.
He was a big deal.
Pun intended.
But,
Right.
They have one of his shoes on display. They have a couple of them around, I think, but one of them is on display at Bon Air. And it turns out, too, that the shoe company made lots of more shoes than he ever wore, and then would sell them and put them out as display pieces, that kind of, souvenirs that you could get. I do have a bunch of giant rings. I have no giant ring for Robert Wadlow.
They had one at a jewelry store. They had his Masonic ring in all
Yeah,
that
Charlie
jewelry store.
Manicky.
Oh, so his actual ring.
Yes.
The giant rings
I think
were...
it actually it was still a copy because
Was it?
the Masonic Lodge has the actual,
Oh,
but
okay.
it was a copy.
Do they? That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
But even a copy like that's pretty cool. But
Why wouldn't he have been
big-
buried with it?
Huh?
Why wouldn't he have been buried with it?
I don't know. No one I know who
I
was
think-
a Mason was buried with their
Yeah,
ring.
'cause I always give it. Like I got my grandpa's, because I'm one too. So I got his, and I got my great grandpa's.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think he passed them down. That's why Steve's got like 4-finger rings. So
The Giants, though, who were on tour would have rings made as souvenirs that were way bigger than any. They're just oversized,
Right.
to fit nobody. Just to be like, ooh, look, I have a giant ring.
right.
So I've come across a few over the years, caught a couple.
So you say you do the bed and nail stuff too, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do you pronounce this? When I was looking on the website, is it fakir? Is that-
Fakir,
okay,
yeah.
that's how you say it. Okay. When I was talking about the different kinds of performers,
Right.
there's like a laundry list of different
Okay.
acts. That's why I was curious what his favorite type.
Right,
was.
Sadhus, mystics, fakirs.
Yeah.
The fakir acts are my favorite
Okay.
ones. Yes.
So what does that mean?
That means all the stuff popularized in Victorian times once England had taken over India. Of the sadhus and the fakirs are mystics, are men who do things like you might live your entire life lying on a bed of nails as your religious thing, so people donate, give you money.
Okay.
And walking on beds of hot coals, beds of nails, human blockhead, human pincushion where you're sticking skewers
Right.
through yourself
Okay.
without, bloodlessly
Right.
doing that kind of thing.
I was gonna get a Chiquita mat. Is that what it's called? Chiquita mat?
How you pronounce it? What are you talking about?
Yeah,
With
it's
the,
got
like,
1,000 little things, but it's it's
Ooh.
kind of like that. So
like an acupuncture.
acupressure.
type
Yeah.
Acupressure kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It looks kind of cool.
I'll tell you, doing the bed of nails, especially over October, and I would, earlier days, I would do, like, I'd lie on my back, but I'd also lie on my front, which is a little more risky.
Yeah.
Not as many bones right there. And, man, it unlocks all kinds of
That's what I've been
stuff.
reading.
Yeah.
I've been reading about it. I was going to throw a mat down and do 20 minutes. And
We got
Oh, yeah.
plywood in the back. Nails are cheap.
Nails are cheap, that's right. I mean, that's how I ended up with the first one. I was like,
Screws are even
I
easier.
gotta do something to entertain these people before they start rioting. I was running this other thing, and I went in the barn, and there was bed and nail and a bunch of barn nails, and just built a bed and went out and started doing it.
So they're really just nails.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
So do you get punctured to where you bleed when you lay on a bed of nails?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. It just depends on the pressure point and where you're at.
mm-hmm.
Interesting.
And usually it happens. I move around. My biggest times that I used to get injured, and I've re-engineered the bed several times, is getting on and off.
Right.
That's actually the hardest.
So once you're on, not that, like, I'm trying to, I like to take over everything. So once you're on a bed of nails and you got a board on top of you, could I ride the one wheel over top of you?
I got ramps. We can make that happen.
Yes.
And we're doing shows in Grennan. My son, who's 17 now, was riding his mini bike over the top.
So,
Oh yeah, it's totally.
yeah.
It's total. It's a little scarier than you think it is. Just FYI, but yeah, we'll totally make it happen.
No, I don't have any common sense. So,
The hardest part for the mini bike was actually getting enough distance on that stage to get enough distance to get enough speed to.
Would you feel comfortable enough bringing somebody from the audience to lay on the bed of nails? Or
I
is it-
would not. There's no way.
Yeah.
My
Really?
insurance doesn't cover that.
it's a
We gotta-
fucking-
When,
Damn insurance
have you
companies.
walked on coals?
Have I walked to Coles? I have not. That's
So-
a big time-consuming
What? Yeah, I was like,
process. You got to dig a pit and you got to put all the stuff, and it's got to burn for X number of times and for X amount of hours, and get to really get everything. It's set, and our thing is kind of about portability. Most of our shows, if everyone has to stand, for example, like the shows we're going to do at the farmers market, at the top of every hour, we'll do a 20-minute show. You're going to see a bunch. You're going to see a bunch of acts. You're going to love it. There's no time to set up a thing and tend it all day and do
I
it.
mean, would you really have to? What if you had like a pit that you could carry around?
well,
I still
it's
got to burn it for all
Yeah.
that time.
Well, yeah, but that would just build anticipation.
Well, I mean-
At one time it did, but anymore,
Nobody cares.
nobody cares. If we were doing like a festival, maybe
Or you
we could
give,
do that, but then drunken stone people would be falling in the pit constantly.
I
Could-
don't know. That would.
Could
that
we
would, I mean,
roast
if you,
marshmallows while we're waiting
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
it
oh
to
yeah, you
simmer
can totally
down?
toast marshmallows while you're waiting.
Right.
If
Couple
they
hot dogs.
knew what you were about to, if they knew what was going to happen, I mean, you would. I don't know how many times you have to burn it, but they knew what was going to happen at the end of it. they might stick around.
Yeah, but if it's hours of burn time.
Well, if you had enough time to do it, but someone's got to stand and watch it the whole time. Having worked a number of festivals,
right?
If I had a nickel for every time somebody was reaching for a flaming torch or a
seriously,
oh dude,
so
it's insane. Like don't touch. Oh, see.
Nice.
Yeah, I could see it.
Well, they would learn once, right?
No.
Oh.
No.
Maybe it's just the kind of festivals we do. Maybe that's what the real problem is.
So
it's not so much the fire.
What
was the
craziest festival you've done? Since you've been pretty much all over the world. Like, what stands out as, I don't think we'll ever top this festival as far as crowd and, like, how they're into it?
Well, I mean, the biggest one is the biggest one we've done, and we've done several all over the country, is the Gathering of the Juggalos. The Insane Clown Posse's yearly gathering.
Right.
And the very first one we went to was in Cave in Rock, Illinois.
Okay.
And we really didn't know. I mean, I knew who ICP was. We really didn't know about him. We got hired to come in and do a couple shows. And we, as soon as you left the highway, you lost all cell phone signal. And so we're driving off to Cave in Rock. No cell phone signal, no way to tell anyone where we are. Finally got into the campgrounds, couldn't find the stage. No one could direct us. There's just a bunch of kids sitting up to their necks on a lake, getting hepatitis and trying to cool off, I guess. We passed by a table where there was like a 10 by 10 pop-up and a big like 8-foot folding table with a mound of weed about this high, and party favors were $5, and they were just rolling joints off of it. And, and all clowns and ninjas and stuff everywhere. And we were like...
A lot of Fago.
A lot of Fago. And the ladies were all like, we're going to get axe murdered here, and this is your fault. And I said, come on, like, have some faith. But we finally found our stage, and we got on the stage.
Coincidentally, that's their thing.
That is their thing. The axe murder, yeah, that's their thing. So everybody was all set to get like, this is it, we're getting murdered. And it was like 110 degrees in the shade. And so we were in this tent with no sides. We get up, we're doing the show, and one of the ladies is doing a straitjacket escape. Put her in the straitjacket, got 20 feet of chain around her, all padlocked and stuff. She's getting out of it, and all of a sudden she gets heat stroke. Like, we could see it on her face the moment it happens, and she starts going the opposite direction. Can't get the jacket off. And so immediately, like, okay, this isn't working. We got to take her off. And they're like, you fucked up. Stuff flying out of the audience, cans, bottles. We had been told already that.
Who would have known Juggalos were not that civilized?
Right.
Well, this was still kind of in the earlier day. I mean, Pauly Shore had been hit in the head with a keg can on the main stage the night before.
Mad about that.
No, not at all. And said he wasn't coming back, and that kind of thing. So stuff's flying at the crowd. I'm like, okay. And meanwhile,
every time
the girl's getting treated off to the side, and then I got hit in the head with a bottle.
Nice.
Bam, right in the head, and I was like, okay, I deserve that. You're absolutely right. I'm going to make it up to you right now. And they were all like, wait, what? Like, all right, let's see what's going to happen. And then I did a lift-up thing with a concrete block, lifting it from my piercings, which is another fakir stunt, but in a different way. And then they were back on our side. We're like, this is the greatest show. And then they also saw that they were icing down old girl at the side. We're trying to cool her down and stuff. And then they were like, a lot of them were worried about her. Like, hey, shoot, if we had genuinely effed up.
Do you think the straitjacket just triggered a lot of the audience? Like, that's why they were mad. They're like, fuck, man, I remember being in that thing too.
You did fuck up. You went there.
In the first place.
But that was the show, huh?
Every time though we do one. The last one we did, we had a newer guy with us who was a huge Juggalo fan, so he was just thrilled to be there, and he was escaping from the straitjacket, and he'd only learned like the day before. We didn't teach him very well, and people were just like launching Fago bottles at him, bottle rockets, and all this stuff. So that was in this tent, we're like, man, we're all gonna die in this burning tent. Totally worth it.
I know someone who has went to one before, and they say that the outdoors smells worse than any outdoors you've ever smelled. You could stand in a hog farm, and the outdoors at the Juggalo smells worse than a hog farm.
It may, but it's genuinely fun. Like we took the kids when they were small,
right?
Like they're 12 and 14, like younger than that, and they had awesome. I mean, there's boobs everywhere. So my son's like, this is the best day ever.
Right.
You know, but
They say but they're not boobs you want to look at.
Sometimes.
Hey, if you're 14, if you're a 14-year-old boy,
Well, if you're 14.
Boobs are
I mean,
boobs.
it's for me. It's for me. I mean, I want to see him, like put him away then. But
He said that the body odor just permeates everything.
So remember when we had the
grass,
wrestlers? When we had the wrestlers
yes,
at their house, that smell stayed
Oh.
for 3 days with the garage door open and a fan going. I don't know how you can get a garage that's concrete and wood to smell so bad.
oh yeah,
That's terrible.
it's a real. It's
The
it's a real thing.
The price you pay for entertainment.
Hey, I don't. You know, after I've done a whole thing, I don't smell. I'm sure I don't smell that great
Fuck,
either.
I didn't smell that good yesterday, and I just sat in the car with Steve.
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah.
How disappointing.
Yeah, well, it's life.
So what's the wildest thing you've seen with FSD?
Are we abbreviating it now?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's easier than saying the
Or
whole thing.
abbreviating?
FSD.
No, you gotta say the whole thing, Drew.
Freak Show Deluxe.
Freak Show Deluxe. What's the
I
wildest
guess
thing
it'll-
I've seen with Freak Show Deluxe?
And that could be what?
What's
for
over the-
performers or even like
Past
being on
22
stage.
years. I have seen because we were doing a number of adult nightclubs, bringing our show and doing the same show we would do for kids, like
Nice.
but with at a adult club with naked people everywhere and stuff like
Right.
that. And
This is I
I've
feel
seen a
like,
couple of sex shows that I was like, oh, that can't be comfortable.
Nah.
I was like, that girl's neck's got to be hurting.
I've seen that on the internet too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. You can see it on the internet again in person. It's a pretty visceral, very different experience to be like, oh,
Well, the smell.
So hold on. So we're working the smell. We're back to the smell
Back to
again.
the smell. Yeah.
So
it's that visceral thing. It's the
Right.
smell.
so we have a lot of not sex clubs, but nudie. What do they call them? Fucking
Nudie bars.
Yeah,
Nudie
nudie bars
bars.
here in town. So
In here, in all,
not in
not in
the
all.
next county over. It's
It's-
illegal in this county.
Sauget.
Yeah.
Oh
so
yeah, that's where a lot of our places have been. I don't want to say anything, but that's where some of the wildest stuff I've ever seen
was
has
in
been there.
Sauget
That
and
I'm
all
like, I
that.
can't believe this is legal at all.
That's because Brooklyn and Sauget and those places are like
There is no
they're
law.
known across the country.
It's
Yes.
it's
Yes, they
international.
are.
It's
Right.
actually international
Right.
land.
Yes, they are.
It's like
Right.
international waters. You can,
Oh, yeah.
You can gamble, eat without a food license.
Able to eat without a food
Yeah,
license.
right.
They're open like constantly.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
yeah.
We went to one time after finishing at the club. They're like, "You should come hang with us at the other club." So we went to the other club and we're hanging out, and everything was bananas.
Yeah.
And then walked out into like bright sunshine.
Oh,
like
yeah,
not the
yeah.
sun's just coming up.
Yeah,
just like,
because that door faces east.
oh yeah, those
Fucking
bastards.
the worst, bro.
Jeez.
The guilt that you have, like when the sun's in your face when you leave that place.
Yeah. We had to go back and check out because it was checkout time at the hotel, so we had to get back, check out.
But you can talk to somebody that's never even been here and they know Brooklyn and Sauget.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah. No, it's Charlie Park too. So because
Yeah,
it's
they
all
know.
kind of
They know
lumped
the
in.
area.
Yeah, it's all lumped in together. Yeah, when we would have like drag racers come in for NHRA, we take
Oh,
them. Yeah,
Oh,
course
not
you
like
would.
RuPaul Drag Racers.
yeah, no, yeah, definitely like.
Oh,
RuPaul
you can
Drag
take
Race.
them there too. I bet
yeah,
they totally dig
they
that.
go too.
Yeah, fuck
Sure, I
everybody,
would hope
everybody
so.
goes.
That's awesome.
Right. Actually, if you go to the drag show sometimes in Alton, it looks sometimes like the titty show until like the dong flops out and you're like, wow, fucking Christ. Like, how do you have the best of both worlds? You got a fucking 18-inch cock and fucking double D tits. I'm like, why do you leave the house?
Well, yeah.
So it's like,
Bold move, sir.
Bold move. Sir Andor met him.
right. I almost fell for that. That was a rough night. I almost fell for that. It looked whatever. We'll go from having flashbacks.
Well, that brings back the age-old question. Once you get that far,
Right?
Right. Yeah.
and you're
I mean-
already there. You've already done
I
it.
mean, I'm loaded my fingers on the trigger, so
You know,
I'm probably
you
just
know.
gonna.
We were having a discussion.
Mama
with-
didn't raise a quitter.
We were, yeah, exactly. We were having a discussion with one of our performers one time. She's like, I really like it in the butt, but how do I get a guy to do it in the butt? I'm like, well,
Post it on
like
Facebook,
you have to,
bro.
yeah.
Tell 'em you like it
But
in
she
the
was like,
butt.
like the guy she's dating, and I'm like, well, you get to that point, you turn it over and do it. And if he hesitates even a little bit, you're just like, get out. Tell him to get out, and I guarantee he will be like, oh no.
He's not gonna hesitate.
Far enough along, he's going to hit it.
That's a new hole? Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
I've been looking at it this whole time.
Exactly.
I've been
Like,
thinking
whatever,
about it.
man.
Right.
Get out. That's my advice for everyone.
Can I shift gears for a second?
Yeah. Man.
Oh yeah,
I
please.
think we
All right,
definitely
yeah,
need
I think
it.
we
Yeah.
definitely-
So no, this is nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Oh.
But I have the wife writing me, and
Uh-oh.
we're supposed to get a window installed.
Tell me more.
This is a business question.
Oh.
Window installed at 10:30.
Wait a minute, what?
Just listen.
What's going on here? We
Just
go
listen.
from taking it
Okay.
in the butt to installing
it's-
windows.
no.
10:30.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
as much as this window cost, I feel like he took
Oh,
it in the
okay.
butt.
Yeah, I did take it in the butt. So they're supposed to be there at 10:30. It's now 10:40. She has to leave for
At
work.
night.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Now.
okay.
Right now.
Right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Okay.
They're late.
Okay.
She's concerned because they're not there.
Yeah.
She has to leave for work.
Right.
Is it if 10:45 if they're not there? Is that our fault?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Nope.
That's what I told her. I said.
And they haven't called or anything?
No.
Ah, yeah. Fuck them.
Because if they phone me here, I'll answer it on the podcast. And be like, you
Yeah.
guys said 10:30. We had to be somewhere. So
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how? So if they got there at 10:30,
we're just gonna let them in to because they'll be outside most of the time. It's that those big
okay.
tall.
Yeah.
I mean, you only have to wait for a college professor for what? Like a PhD for 15 minutes? 10 minutes maybe?
And then what?
And then you can leave if they don't show up at the class.
I can't spell college. Let alone go. Fuck.
So anyways, I was curious if that was the bad advice for that.
No. Fuck. You go home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
You're
don't
late.
know why not. Could you be smart enough to like, I'm not up for this class, but make sure
Is
the
it somebody
professor's
local?
late today.
Yeah, what'd you
Hey,
class?
like, set it up so that he's
Tell her,
late.
tell her to go home or go to work.
Yeah, we're going to. But okay. So anyways, what is a lesson?
Back to taking it in the butt.
You back
Right.
to taking it in the
To
butt.
it. Excellent.
Perfect segue into what is a lesson your job has taught you that you think everyone should learn at some point?
Nice.
The
Nice.
Lots of lube.
lots of taking it in the butt. Yes, if taking it in the butt is your thing, lots of lube. For us, for me, that I've learned is the ability to speak well to any kind of group of people, and professionalism is the most important thing you can have. We when we first moved the show from where we were to LA, and I was talking to a tattoo artist, actually worked across the street from the place I was working. This right before we had opened our theater, I think, and in LA. And
LA.
he's like, "You guys are going to totally make it here," and I'm like, "Why? Why is that?" And he said, "Because you could talk to these CEOs and executives and stuff." And make sense, like you're going to get corporate work and stuff. He's like, a bunch of these other people doing your job, they can't talk to those. The guy who comes in covered in like tattoos, they're not going to take him seriously. But you can come in and immediately like get into the conversation, and be able to do that. And it's true. We've done from high end, Fortune 500 companies to the lowest. To Juggalo things. Not to talk bad about Juggalos, actually. It's always a lot of fun. We really like it. ICP pays in cash, on time, every time. They're the best. That is one of the most professional organizations.
Is it really?
Yeah.
So what are their names?
Shoot, fuck.
Violent J
Violent
and
J
Shaggy
and-
Two Dope.
Yeah. They're actually really great people.
Yeah.
Super great dudes.
They're
They really are.
very professional. They've always
Really
been
are.
very nice. I can't believe they wear their makeup the entire week of the thing, and they meet and greet with everybody. And it's their
great people.
family members run the company. They're like everybody's. It's a family business.
They
Everybody's
donate heftily all the time. Really great people.
Aren't they also like super smart too?
Yes.
Yeah, I thought they.
Yes.
I thought they were like scholastically
Well, the Violent J guy is
biggest.
yes.
Word
Yeah,
biggest
I mean,
word I've
Violent
used
J is such a great dad. His daughter was into furries, which is dressing up in furry costumes and going to conventions. And they used to be really weird, but now they're much more family, friendly, inclusive.
The
And
furries.
he had
Well, they
a
used to
furry
be
out.
a sex thing.
Oh yeah, totally used to be, but now it's not.
Right,
Blame
right.
the Japanese. The
Blame the Japanese.
just kid. No, I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
But he had a custom furry suit made for himself so he could accompany his daughter, and his furry suit has his clown makeup on it. Which I should mention, the clown makeup is the only thing that fools facial recognition software.
I like it.
Their clown makeup, Violet J and Shaggy
Really?
Two Dope's clown makeup, if you wear it, the facial recognition programs can't.
Yeah, but they're really great people. I watch.
They
them.
are. I really, it's always been a pleasure to do stuff for them. The big events, the little events, it doesn't matter. I wish we could be, I wish we were more on there.
It's the idiots that are out in the world that give it a bad name.
What's that?
Just
we
like
had
any-
the one,
just like
the one at the
anything.
wrestling show. The idiots out in the world that give it a bad name.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so what were we talking about? Oh, so professionalism. Fortune 500 down to lowest common denominator, which is not ICP. It's some of these other, things, and been able to...
Fortune 500 companies.
Yeah, to other Fortune 500 companies, and being able to, like, really work with them and, and communicate well.
So having that ability and that professionalism to talk to all these different walks of life.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a point where somebody made you almost break your facade and your professionalism and tell them maybe what you really thought?
Well,
yeah.
We've done a lot of like biker events and stuff like that, and I've rode motorcycles and stuff for years. So one of the things that we did for Freak Show Deluxe was make a 3-part patch, and we have people everywhere. So we have our Freak Show Deluxe logo, and they were mostly so like, hey, so it's like if we're working a gig, everyone who's there and who is a company member who has a jacket, wear your jacket the whole time. So it's like if you have an issue, you have a problem, question for the people we're working with, find the person in the jacket. They stand out. You're gonna notice them, and that worked really well. Well, we went and did to do a gig one time. I can't remember where, and the guy. We got there early. I got up super early to do the news in the morning to do a promo thing, and he was like, "I'm not going to have you do it. I think it's too much. I'm going to have my magician friend do it, who's your opening act." And I was like, "That's fucking terrible. I've never heard of that guy. We're coming off a national tour of all these gigs and TV appearance stuff." And his friend, then his magic friend, blew the trick on air for the morning show.
Yeah, that's always good.
So we get there, we get all set up. So the crew and I have set up. I'm a 3-person show. We've hung banners. We've gone through our stuff. We've sound checked all the stuff. The venue owner comes to us and he's like, "Hey, this guy was supposed to give me X amount of dollars by X point. He has not done so. It is not looking good for this show happening tonight." And I'm like, "That's a problem." And he's like, yeah, it's a problem for me too. Like, it's a problem. And so the venue owner then was like, "Nope, door's locked. Like, you didn't pay me the money. I'm not opening it up." And so the promoter is out front, and there's a big crowd of people. We went out and did a few things to just entertain, like, thanks for coming out, so we still looked good. We're like, it's all the promoter's fault, fuck that guy. So then we're like, "Hey, man, we're here. We set up. You still have to pay us." And he's like, "Okay, I'll be right back," and stuff. And we're like, "No, man. Here, why don't you come onto the bus, and we'll discuss it." And he came on the bus, and we all had put our coats on, and we carried like axe handles and stuff. There'd been a couple of wild crowds over the years, and we're like, "We're gonna need our money." And he's like, I don't have it." I'm like, "Turn out your pockets. I'm gonna take every bit of cash you have on you right now, and you're still on the hook for the rest of this money." Which he is. I've still got it written down. I mean, someday I'll get back down there and I'll collect.
So,
but that was the big of like, okay, now we've taken it to a different level.
Is it near South Carolina?
Maybe.
I'm heading that way soon.
All right. You want to go along?
You want to go with?
That's only happened like maybe.
All right.
Maybe. Well, it depends on the date. I got a lot of. Actually, we are pretty busy coming up. That's actually happened very few times, considering that happened once at a big biker event, and we knew from the moment walking in, like, "Oh, this is gonna go awry."
Right.
And the people who are promoting it kind of got ripped off too. So we,
Sure.
And then a guy that he paid by check from his mom's account, which we're a professional company. Like, we take checks.
Sure.
It bounced, figured it out, and then he was like, "Oh, I declared bankruptcy." Like, I don't care.
Right.
That is not my problem. Your mom did declare bankruptcy. I'll go visit her. Anyway.
I feel like I should get in this business, bro.
I got, and there was and one more. There were 4 times, and the 4th one was a talent agent who didn't want to pay me, and he's not that far away now. He's in Michigan.
Nice.
But like, I'm coming for you, man.
Nice. I'll let you know when
There's your warning, punk.
Damn.
He's watching, I'm sure. He's definitely watching. What else you got, Drew?
Just random shit.
Yeah, I love it.
What's your? Everybody can answer this one. What's your favorite holiday movie? Any holiday?
Oh, getting personal.
I like Lethal Weapon at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
Chuck? You don't know?
I mean, any holiday.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day.
Oh, yes, that is
Classic.
fantastic.
Fucking very nice.
Good one.
I still like Elf.
Elf's a good movie.
I still like
I
Elf,
like
bro.
Elf.
That's best holiday.
Yeah, man. I'm just a basic bitch. Christmas Vacation, man.
Also good.
Also good.
Shitter's always full.
Yeah, Shitter is always full right there.
Do you always watch Darby O'Gill and the Little People?
Yes.
on St. Patrick's Day.
I've never.
It's on Disney Plus.
I had the kids watch it, and they're like, "What the fuck is this?"
Oh, yeah. Still, every time, like, what is happening? Oh God,
Never seen that.
Darby O'Gill and Little People.
dude, it's a
from, like, the
Disney
50s,
film.
right?
Yeah, for like the 50s, it's a Disney film. It stars Sean Connery, for crying out loud, as an Irish guy. There you go. And but talking to like the guys who made the movie, like, it's all practical effects, and we can't remember. He's like, I watched a couple scenes. I'm like, I don't remember how we did that. How are there all these leprechauns running around with these full-size people?
These
I have no
leprechauns
clue.
are fantastic in that movie.
Oh yeah, I mean
There's banshees and shit in it. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
There's
What's this movie called again?
Darby O'Gill and the Little People.
Okay.
it's on Disney Plus. I'll have it, Darby O'Gill and the Little People watch party, and there must be drinking. There must be Irish whiskey. It's
Fair.
cigars, and
Okay. Fair.
and you got to drink every time Sean Connery says something.
I just like saying Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
Sean Connery.
I just like when they make
Your mother's a
fun of
whore, Rebecca.
when they meet. Yeah, that's where I was going. The SNL skit where they.
Oh yeah. That where they got him and what's his name is Burt Reynolds. Oh man,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
those
Yeah.
are the best. Those are the best of times.
When he just passed away, Norm Macdonald played.
Yeah,
Burt
would be Burt Reynolds.
Yeah.
What are you wearing? Big cowboy hat. It's funny.
Right. It's funny.
What does he say? I'll take the rapist for 500.
Yeah.
It's like, it's the therapist. Oh man. Okay.
Okay, I don't know. Let's launch on a sidebar. I think that Will Ferrell is really his funniest when he's the straight guy. When he's the straight, when he's playing the straight guy to everybody else is ridiculous. I'm just like, I can't believe this is happening around me. I think he's even funnier than though. Okay, what is the funniest movie ever for you? Like the most comedic movie you've ever had. He's turned the tables. All right.
Ooh.
Most comedic.
Like the funniest movie you ever saw had you rolling on the floor.
Half Baked.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, that was good.
That's a good movie, but it's too stereotypical. Like that was a movie that you had. If you were a stoner when that movie came out, you had to watch it. You had to watch it.
Absolutely.
You had to. So it loses its power. I don't know, man. I'll have to think about that for a minute.
I don't even know. Well, I don't remember anything. So
Yeah.
I went to watch Matchstick Men yesterday.
That's a good movie. I can't believe you didn't finish it.
Well, because I already seen it. I just forgot I saw
I
it.
forgot you saw it.
So I got into it, and I was like, oh, yeah. And it's so slow to start. So I'm like, Jesus,
Yeah.
fuck, let's just move on. So I turned it off.
Mine is the one I had. Totally went in, no clue what was going to happen, and happened to be on. We watch it. Talladega Nights. Will Ferrell's where I was just rolling on the floor like I can't believe.
I think Step Brothers is better than
Step Brothers is
better.
Yeah?
funny. Yeah, both are.
That one, Step Brother and Talladega Nights is top. Step Brothers is down, and then whatever the basketball movie that he did was with Woody Harrelson.
Tropicals. No, that never mind. That, White Man Can't Jump.
No.
Will Ferrell was not in White
The
Man Can't Jump.
basketball movie. Woody Ferrell was in that movie.
Woody Harrelson was
Woody
the
Harrelson was in that movie?
pro basketball player that Will Ferrell brings in for his team to try and turn the team around so they can
And
stay.
they were called the
in-
Tropics, right?
Oh yeah.
The Tropics,
That's
yeah.
what it's called.
The
That's the name of the
Detroit,
movie.
weren't they
Something
like the
Tropics.
Detroit Tropics or something like that?
That sounds
where,
ridiculous.
Where I'm like, I
Blazing
remember those
Blades
days.
of Glory is another good one by Will Ferrell too.
Also good. Skewering those things of like, they're all dead serious, but you're like, this is the most ridiculous thing. But and it's not Slapshot. That's the hockey one with Paul Newman. But whatever the basketball one is, where they're the Tropics, was just like, oh yeah, I remember going to those kind of games when I was a kid in the '70s. And they're like, he's gonna fight a bear at halftime.
What was that?
I
What's
saw
that?
that.
What's
Yeah.
that movie? Robert Downey Jr. Shit, I can't. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't remember.
Where
the
they're
movie.
in like shooting a war movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tropic
that one.
Thunder.
Tropic Thunder.
That's the one. That's the
It's
funniest.
called Semi-Pro.
Semi-pro. Thank you very much. Semi-pro.
Tropic Thunder is the one that
Tropic
had me
Thunder.
rolling all the way through it.
Oh,
all the
yeah.
way through. It's just so much good stuff.
What do you mean, you people?
Right.
You know that thing of like,
they tried to cancel him over that recently, and everybody else that was on it, like all the black people that he knows, were like, "No, you can't,
no man,
Nah.
you
it
can't
was
cancel
making
him."
it was making
do
a
it.
very specific point, and
can't
that
do it.
point still valid. Because it was. It like it's trying to like you try to cancel Blazing Saddles, but it's making a point the whole entire time.
Simple Jack.
Oh, Simple Jack.
I shared something yesterday. I follow. Well, I don't follow him, but I see his videos all the time. The dude that puts Arnold Schwarzenegger's deep fake. You know what
I
deep fake
fucking love it.
He puts them.
So great.
He puts them on the other characters.
Yes.
And he was. He was on. They put him on the Robert Downey Jr. one.
Did they?
Great. Great.
Does he do Simple Jack? With
Yes. Yes.
Gosh,
I shared it yesterday. I just shared it yesterday.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've been really enjoying those. Whoever does that, it's pretty
so
good.
I can't remember the guy's name, but the voice is done by a different guy.
Oh, it's not even Arnold Schwarzenegger, huh?
No, it sounds so much like him.
It does. It does.
So we were watching. We watch Chopped,
Okay.
which is a food competition show.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
And there was I wasn't watching. I was just staring at my phone last night instead of watching it. But there was a guy on there, and every time I heard
That's
his
true.
voice, I just went straight to the deep fake. Like I just in my head, it's a Arnold Schwarzenegger's face on this guy cooking food,
Nice.
and I
Oh
couldn't.
my god, that's hilarious.
I just couldn't even watch the show now. But
That's awesome.
yeah, they're really hilarious. They're funny.
What else you got?
Right on.
If you could be remembered for one thing, what would it be?
Oh man. I mean,
Remember me.
there's the obvious jokes that can go in there, but realistically, it would. I'd like to have a legacy after I'm gone. If people, my favorite thing really is when I talk to folks, maybe somebody I haven't talked to in a while, and they're like, "Hey, I want you to know that you inspired me to do this," or like, "I got to work with you once, and then I went and did, or I heard you on a thing, and then I went and did the thing."
And that's awesome, though.
And that's the best. And really, and my hope is that the kids as they grow up will have that kind of feeling and will do that kind of stuff. And and that makes me very proud of people. Like, well, you didn't need me. Like, I knew you had it. One of the things for the people we've hired for Freak Show Deluxe and the other companies stuff we've done is that I tend to see more people's potential. So I'll bring a lot of people, and sometimes they fail. Like maybe we do a cool thing and then they're still dicks or whatever, so they're out.
Right.
But that finding potential and really being like, man, you got to do the thing.
Is that an inherent ability in you, or does that come from experience, or both?
I think it's both. I think it's both.
So when you were a wee tot before you decided to do freak show stuff, what was your like, I'm going to grow up to be a fireman?
I wanted to grow up and be a police officer because I'm mostly Irish. New York, my mom's people are all New York Irish. So, of course, I wanted to be a cop.
Right.
And then I went, my parents had a traveling theatrical troupe, so I was with that.
Gotcha.
And then, so I always did theater and dance and music. Got me beaten up a lot at school in the little farming community that we lived in.
Sure.
Totally worth it. Girls still thought I was hot. That was all that mattered.
Right.
But I was like, I'm gonna get serious and I'm gonna be a cop. And then I went to a college immediately following high school and realized that I hated all of those people. Not hated, that's a strong word, but just like these are not the kind of people that I want to work with, like that I want to be a part of. And then I was kind of floundering. I didn't know what I was going to do, and then I ended up getting back into music and theater.
Nice.
Well, but I had always been raised that those are side things. Like my parents had both been educators, were both teachers, and they were very much like it's a side, it's a side thing you do, or it's what you do during the summer. And they're like, you should teach. And then I tried teaching, and I didn't have the patience or anything for it. Like, I can teach well, but the student has to want to be there.
Sure.
I can't force somebody to learn something. I don't have the patience for it. And so yeah, and then I bumbled her. Man, I've been, because my whole thing for life has been if an opportunity arises, you take it. Like, I got a call. I had auditioned for a thing in California. I was still living in Ohio, and this years ago, and they called and they're like, hey, we want you to be a part of this company. You want to come out? I'm like, cool. And they're like, you'd be here in 2 weeks? Sure, I can be there in 2 weeks. 2 suitcases and a carry-on, took a flight out. That was it. Like, I had to completely do it. My parents were like, if you go, like, you're not coming, you can't come back. And I was like, okay. Of course, I'm like, no problem. I'm out of here. See ya, suckers. And then after a little bit, I was like, can I come back for the holidays? They're like, nope, that was the deal. You go. And like, okay. And I pulled myself back up and went and did school, found my way. When my parents were living in Africa and they were like, hey, you want to come out and visit? Like, sure, I'll come out and visit. And off I went to Africa, put everything in storage, did all this stuff, was out there for a little bit. That was a big life-changing experience as well. And then I was working in the theater, and they're like, what are you doing after the semester, after the season's over? I'm like, I don't know. Like, go back to California, I guess. And they were like, I don't know. We need grad students at our theater program. Like, okay. I don't have any money to pay for it. We'll figure that out when you get here. Like, okay, great. Really? Went down. Housing didn't work out. Like, all this stuff didn't work out, but I still stayed there and got the thing. So it's been a series of just being open to, sure, yeah, I'll do that. And just like bumbling through life, like derp, like through life.
That's exactly how we do.
Oh, yeah.
Every day. Every day.
But it's been great. I've had experiences I don't think I would have had otherwise. You
just got to be willing to take those chances.
Yeah, you got to be willing to take those chances. And sometimes, the hard part then is when, because sometimes it fails. It all goes awry. And to know when to be like, okay, maybe we're on this path, we should stop and turn a different direction. That's always the tough part. Not like, nope, going to go through this till.
Right.
What's your biggest pet peeve?
Boy, stupidity, I guess. Because so much of the time, stupidity these days, as we all carry supercomputers around on our hip, in our pockets and stuff, it's a choice. Ignorance is a choice these days. And lack of empathy. You can't have empathy for other people and their struggles and stuff. No one says you have to like them. No one says you have to do that. But, like, your way, us as individuals, our way is not the only way.
True.
I like it.
Yeah. What's your biggest pet peeve, Chuck?
Pet peeve? Mm-hmm. I don't know, so many things get on my nerves, it would hardly be.
Do what?
I don't know, man.
You don't know?
Probably people that say they can do things or know things or act better than people.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I hate that shit.
Hate that. That's
true. Now, the one thing that will drive me over the edge and make me come after somebody to fight them is mumbling under their breath as they walk away.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I hate that. That's bitch shit, and I do not like it at all.
I think you just classify bitch shit as the biggest pet peeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. There you go.
It really is.
Right on. I'm right with you on that.
Right.
That's a great one.
Mine is somebody who doesn't try.
Yeah.
Like, whatever it is, you just don't fucking. That's the winner.
Is it?
Yep. Emily, when I was teaching Emily how to ride a bicycle, she decided she didn't want to try. She fell down once. So I picked it's beautiful. Nice job, Chuck.
Oh, well done.
So she fell down once. Bike start. I can't do this. I'm like, no, you can't. And I threw her the bike across the fucking. And then I made her go get it, and then try again. And then she, I can't do it. And so I pick it up and throw it. It's a little bike. It's not like I'm strong. I'm just throwing fucking bikes around the yard like keg tosses. But no, yeah. So it's that stuck with her, or traumatized her, whatever the psychiatrist.
Six of one, half dozen of the other.
Right. But here's a kid who will always try because I'm going to throw something like a little baby, basically. So, I was young raising her, so I didn't know how to parent really well. So I just threw shit, like, oh, you're not going to eat your fucking food, and then I throw the plate, and next time she'd eat her food. So I mean. It's DM me for parenting advice. It's working out really well.
So far we can DM you for
dick pics, sword swallowing,
and parental advice.
Right. Right. DMs are open.
Oh yes.
Yes. Cash App is.
Yeah.
I have a Venmo. I just don't know what it is.
I've tried so many times to Venmo you instead, but
yeah, I know how to work it. I just don't know it off the top of my head. Like the Cash App, I just get more Cash Apps than I get freaking Venmos. So
yeah,
it's the crowd. It's the crowd you work.
Nice. So. Let's say mine would be kind of like Mike's, not trying, but also real world stuff. People don't use turn signals. Piss me the fuck off.
Really?
That's fair.
Yeah.
Really?
Nice to meet you. I don't use my turn signal
Fuck no, I don't.
most of the time.
Not.
You can't
if
figure it
If there's
out?
nobody around me, I won't. But
Right.
if I'm, if you're making a turn 5 feet in front of me like that, I just gotta have a turn signal. Like,
Right.
Or I'm gonna be like, "You're a cocksucker."
Right.
When I go by you.
Hey, you fucking cunt.
And unnecessary clutter
Yep.
You should try my.
Unnecessary clutter, man.
in
that's
your
it.
brain and your environment around you. Everything unnecessary clutter.
You should try my trip here every morning. You want people to get on your nerves.
Yeah.
So I travel central right here, right? And I've been driving that road for a very long time, 27 years. And it's the people who get on that road and do the speed limit. Drives me nuts.
It is so weird. Like,
Drives me nuts.
so like I get behind somebody on that road that's going the speed limit, and then I'm like, "Is your car breaking down? Like,
Right.
what is the fucking problem? Are we really doing 30 right now? It's
Right.
a damn near a drag strip."
You're like, come on, buddy.
What?
Yeah.
Right. I was like, "Dude, pull over. I'll help you with your car." Like, I don't know what's wrong, but. Yeah. So anyway,
Yeah. So those would be the
that's your pet peeve. Fucking
Yeah.
turn signals and
turn
clutter.
signals,
fair.
unnecessary clutter. Yeah.
Unnecessary clutter. Yeah, that's a.
It's pretty nice.
It covers a lot.
It
Unnecessary
covers-
clutter.
Yeah, it does.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I see you trying to get deep. Yep. I got you. I got you.
So, what do you think the world will look like in 5 years?
Whose world?
There.
Well,
Like
the Matrix, but
the-
I mean,
the-
The
world?
yeah, in the Matrix. That's a tough call. There's a lot of stuff that's going to happen in the next few years that's going to make a big difference. I mean, I've seen the world change significantly, just like we all have. From, it's hard to believe that certain political parties who worship Ronald Reagan are now siding with the great enemy, and I don't know what that's going to mean. And some of these, great big organizations and companies and stuff who've been around, or they're not too big to fail.
The only thing that's changed is the show. Everything else it's all the same. They've just changed the way you see it.
People
Just the
want
show.
You guys are.
it's people are only
Yes, for
concerned with their blinders on, like what they could see. I
That's
mean,
it.
if you left everybody alone, they would just be like, hey man, if I got enough to eat and drink and food and shelter, had the basics covered and didn't have to worry about that someone was going to wreck everything, I would feel different.
Yeah.
I would feel very differently.
It's not the geopolitical climate is not going to change because it's been the same for centuries. It's just the way they're portraying it to you to keep you locked into it, locked into the show. That's all it is.
Well,
You know how
you guys- do you
know
guys
how when
watch
you
the-
have to travel. You know
guys
how when
watch
you
the
have to
news?
travel to a different,
Oh.
like you did. So you did your show in California all them years, right? Now you come out here, it's kind of got to change a little bit because you're in a different place.
except the part where we've traveled. We weren't just in California. We were still all over the United States.
But
and
you know
everything.
what I'm saying, though. You for each place you got to change something a little bit for that audience.
If you do a rodeo versus a Fortune 500 company, you're gonna have two different demographics.
yeah, you got to change a little bit
Do
for
you
that
change it
demographic.
for
All
that?
I change is we make fun of a certain city. I find out whatever city that city where we're at or whatever state they hate,
Right.
and then they become the butt of a bunch of jokes.
So
Right.
right.
But actually, that's it. Now, an older audience will get more dick jokes than a younger audience.
Right. Oh, that's
I was doing the preschool, right?
Yeah.
the
Them
point I
little
was
kids didn't
making.
get my dick jokes.
The point I was making is that's all they're doing is they're changing it for the certain people.
So
and they're wrong to do so.
well, sure, but
Because each,
manipulation.
because
But
each
what is
place
it?
is because each place is different. But we've been boots on the ground, and this is an argument. I've had the, I wouldn't say pleasure, but to meet a lot of politicians.
Right.
I have and worked with them on various I've been on the floors of Senates talking and stuff. I don't know how I end up there.
And
hey,
you're
you wanna
like,
go think, yeah, sure,
I
whatever.
can do this.
I can do this. Yeah, whatever.
Vote for me.
But I've never met a successful politician, and that means running more than one, having office for more than, say, 2 terms.
Right.
2 terms, I've never met a successful politician who wasn't also a scumbag.
Right.
Because you have to, because a big part of politics, of course, really is having to work with the other side and coming to compromises. So all these new idiots coming in who are like, I'm not compromising, I'm not doing, my town doesn't want this. It's because they're the ones who have been living in a bubble and think that is the only way to think about things.
And then somebody comes along with a big bag of money, and all of a sudden you don't have
And all of a sudden you have no
you don't-
morals.
you don't have those
at
morals
all,
no
and
more.
you're
They're gone.
tossing all that aside. Yeah, that's
all
It's
that.
literally
That's
all about
ridiculous.
it.
All of a
It's
sudden
literally-
you're broke and serving drinks, and now you're worth $57 million after 6 years of $150,000 a year.
Are you talking about
AOC?
AOC? Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd still like to see them.
Skipping over that, but
Yeah.
that's a person but that is a person that I think in a way that is someone I feel has a more real, her and a couple of others who have a more realistic view of things because been in the trenches, worked food service, worked at a bar, now making more money and stuff, but still facing a lot of the same.
She thinks cow farts are the reason for global warming. Come on,
Cow
now.
farts are a reason for global
Come on
warming.
now. Well, methane
'Cause
is
tens
one,
of thousands
methane
of
is the biggest greenhouse gas.
Cows.
So why don't we
But
eat?
it's
it?
not. But
Why
it's not
don't-
the only thing, and I think
Sure,
and it's
sure,
sort of like
right.
you
That's
can't
the
go
thing.
and choose like
Right.
you got to
But
pick
so-
your one thing and be like this.
So
is
for the act, can we eat cows' heads to save
Yes.
the planet?
See?
Who
There
would
you
be
go.
mad about that?
There you go,
to
climate
do
change.
what?
We're
Eat
gonna
cow
eat,
heads?
yeah, for the act. We get the person,
Global
will,
warming.
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. You know an act that's
It's
gone
go-
by the
it's-
wayside.
it's going
eating
great.
light bulbs.
Oh,
and you know
that's-
why? Because they don't make incandescent bulbs like they used to.
Oh,
And
No, it's
eating
stuff
light bulbs
inside
with
of them
things
was poisonous.
tearing telephone books in half. Big classic strong.
I can still do
tearing
that.
telephone books.
yeah.
I have a
phone book's real small.
Yeah, phone books. You're talking. Nobody uses phone books anymore. So what do you do as things continue to change, which they will, and technology gets better
Right.
and also gets worse at the same time.
Oh, it's worse.
Yeah.
Technology peaked in about 98.
So I think there's an overwhelming, larger threat, and you guys can disagree, but it's artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
As you have Chat GPT pulled up right now.
Because I want to show you something.
Okay,
So it is evolving at a rate unprecedented.
sure. That
I've-
they're
and
telling
of
us.
course it
It's
is.
been, it's been fucking out.
Now,
Well, yeah.
but it's almost to the point of having sentience.
Well, no. They've got the one. They've got. I don't know if it's ChatGPT, but they got the one that they told it that they were going to delete it if it continued to. So it went into self-preservation mode all by itself.
Yeah. So you create this thing that self evolves and it's open source. People are feeding it information. It's getting smarter, and then you hook it to the internet and connect it to every computer in the entire fucking world.
Lawnmower man.
Right. So
Fucking
Lawnmower
iRobot.
Man,
iRobot.
Terminator.
and it's accelerating right now to speed that. There's really intelligent people that are like, put a kibosh on this for 6 months and take a step back because next year it's going to be bad.
Because there's a lot of idiocy. That's the problem of your artificial intelligence can't tell the difference. It's like a baby. It's not like a baby, but if you're just getting information like a lot of people off the internet. Well, I saw a thing that said this, but with no filter and with no experience to filter it through and no knowledge to filter it through, then it's just it's that whole thing of garbage in, garbage out. The classic.
It's logic driven, so therefore it's going to make logical decisions, and we're not logical. Humans aren't logical,
Humans
so
are
its
not
logical
logical.
decision is going to be to get rid of the illogical
If
problem.
If its narrative is to, or its imperative is to preserve humanity, and I mean it's not going to because we're redundant.
We're the problem.
We're the problem.
Right.
We're the
Right.
disease, and this has been brought up before, of that humanity in a sense. It's been brought up in the Matrix, various anime,
Right,
that
'cause it's
humanity is the disease. It goes to a spot where everything's great, replicates until it ruins that spot, and then moves on to the next spot.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's
That's why we got our eyes on Mars, right? 'Cause this one's almost done.
well, that spaceship blew up. I'm pretty sure because the Martians were like, "Oh, we ain't coming." In.
Right.
Fuck
That
that.
or-
Not
Nah,
happening.
bro.
Where you going? Is he coming here? What the fuck? Put that motherfucker down.
Put some speed bumps in
Right.
that.
My
Right there.
Tesla can drive itself, but that rocket can't get there.
As long as the kid doesn't walk in front of it.
Which rocket blew up?
One of Musk's.
SpaceX.
Recently?
Yeah,
The
that
recent one?
SpaceX one. That
You know
blew
what I
up.
like about
unmanned,
Musk?
Yeah.
but like unmanned on purpose. I'm sure
Yeah.
because they were like, "Oh, we need the insurance off
So,
that."
so we go to
There's that. There's
we go
that.
to Port Canaveral every year, right?
Right.
Which is right next to Kennedy, and we watch space launches. You know what I've learned about Elon Musk versus the other companies is Elon Musk. It will just say, "Fucking send it." They
Oh,
won't,
yeah.
They won't be like, oh, we got to scrub it for the wind. We got to. He's like, nah, hit the button.
hit
bro.
the button.
Blow that shit up.
It's insured. Well, let's see what
find
happens.
It's
Or he's
insured.
got enough to just be like I don't care. Like, when you're
right.
like, let's see how good these brakes are. Ram it into a bunch of stuff and they'll be like, huh.
So
All right, let's go back to the drawing board.
You don't have that
Okay.
realization, but last year we were at a restaurant eating while they were supposed to do the launch, and like they were scrubbing it because of weather, and so we were waiting, and so we're in a restaurant with people that are from there, and
Okay.
they're and somebody, I hear somebody from the background go, Elon would launch that sucker already. And it made me think about it. I was like, yeah, he would have.
Yeah. That's absolutely true.
Guy gives no shits.
None
he doesn't.
whatsoever.
Super
I think
villain
Elon's-
coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
Super
yes.
villain.
But
Super
why not?
villain coming.
Well,
God, I hope he becomes one.
Oh, it's
he's
happening.
there.
It's happening.
Well, it's that when
Well,
here-
it starts
the-
with Starlink.
The Batman discussion, the whole like, if I was a billionaire, all these billionaires and somebody could be Batman, and it was what the hell?
Right.
And like, yeah, because you can't amass that kind of money and be a moral person. Like you can't, because you're making that money like Jeff Bezos and that whole thing of like, oh, you're talking about.
Somebody here.
I don't know what's
Right
happening
there.
out there, but it needs to stop right now.
Oh.
Crap,
But
cops.
It's just me.
It's the cool kids.
It's I hope. I hope.
But how can if you have a supervillain, like I hope Elon goes Dr. Evil level, like skull shaped
I hope he knows
island
Bond villain.
somewhere.
Bond villain level.
Boss.
Yes.
Who's
Bond villain.
please. God, I would and that's the thing of like,
Love
yeah,
that.
if I had a bit,
I'd still root for him. That's the root
Oh,
for
yeah.
him. Like, yeah, Elon.
Well, you always kind of have to root for the villain.
Right.
Like they got to be sympathetic in a way. You can't just.
Can I be a henchman, Elon? Come on, man.
Where
Does
do
it
they
come with a free Tesla?
Where do they get their henchmen from?
Everywhere.
Let's go to third world countries and just like hire
Everywhere.
people hiring. What's that?
People probably just show up and be like, I want to be a henchman. You got it, buddy. There you go. Go guard this door.
What are those guys? The ones when they're always like, oh, it's a contractor in the a U.S. contractor was doing like that dude is a mercenary that the U.S. Army hired so
Blackwater.
they could Blackwater so they could do stuff and not get in trouble. It's the company that gets in. The company doesn't care. Like does Dr. Evil just
or
call
they
up
deny its
Blackwater and be
existence
like,
entirely.
oh, sure.
Have you ever played around with that ChatGPT though? Have you
No,
messed with it?
I have a little
haven't
bit,
touched it. I haven't
but
touched it.
So like you can't ask it certain shit, like you can't be like sex stuff or whatever, right? So I was just messing around like how much semen would it take to fill an Olympic sized swimming pool?
Right.
Right? So you can't ask it, but you could ask it how
What?
much
I mean-
mayonnaise and watch. It'll instantly answer you how much. How you spell mayonnaise? There we
Why
go.
can't you ask it sex?
MAYONNAISE
Because of the sense, because it's got.
It'll
sensors.
say it.
because they blocked some
yeah.
stuff.
Well, that's dumb. Now I want to create an AI that's just nothing but sex stuff.
Why
There's a
don't
market
you?
that needs to be filled.
Here,
Why don't
this
you?
is instantly. An Olympic-sized swimming pool can hold up to 2.5 million liters of water, which is equivalent to about 660,430 gallons, or 10,641,711 cups. Mayonnaise has a density of approximately 0.9
I don't care
grams
anymore.
per. I'm saying, but
He's
But
already lost me.
it's done the math.
and it's writing you this
That is
whole
hard.
page about that. Like, pick a song.
He's already lost me. I don't.
Pick a song you like.
Fuck all y'all by
Where's
Tupac.
where's the one that what's the one that will make it he'll create like images and stuff. What's that?
Oh, there's several of those
are
out
art
there.
generators.
Yeah.
yeah, the
and
art
those are
generators. Those are
fun.
cool. Yeah, those are cool.
Those are fun.
So
I've been meaning to mess around with those. I just never have.
I've
I
been,
have no interest in Chat GPT or no.
dude, it's
I'm
fantastic.
smart enough to write
'cause-
my own shit.
No, as a single guy, I just that's how I send my text out. You know, I
Oh.
just use Chat GTP and
Well, that would explain some of the text that I've been
right. Yeah. She's like, "What are you doing today?" "Sorry, I'm not interested in you. I don't have feelings for you." You know, so it's just a robot talking for me.
Here, this is the last paragraph to put in this big thing. This is equivalent to approximately 5,000 pounds of mayonnaise. However, it's important to note that filling a swimming pool with mayonnaise would not be a practical or feasible task and would likely have negative environmental impacts.
There's that logic part. It's like, why are you going to do this to begin with?
Yeah.
What the hell
At
least there's a little logic with
There's
it.
a little back.
There's a little, like, if you tell me, then now I don't need to do it. Otherwise,
There's a little back
I'm doing it.
programming in that going, God, humans suck.
Right.
yeah. Wait. There was an AI that they said that they put it on a thing of putting it into like a menial task of, hey, you're making widgets, right? So like, all right, AI, you're going to make widgets. And then after not even a week, it killed itself rather than do a repetitive task.
That's the one where it was put in the box on a shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And it figured out that it's going to be doing this forever. This same movement forever. And so it just went, nah. Shut down. Yep. It killed itself. Yep.
Oh, like the one, the big arm, it was like an art gallery. AI
Oh, yeah,
thing.
yeah.
They like had to scrape the oil back into its thing to keep living where it was finally
That thing was kind of cool. Didn't it finally die?
Yeah, it committed suicide. They were just finally like, it gave up. I was like,
So is that art imitating life?
That it? Well, it is. And I think that says something specifically about the human condition. Because what is it that super rich people, like Nepo Baby and stuff always do? They always want to go into the arts. They want to do TV and they want to do art and they want to do music. Because that's what people are driven to do. That's a natural thing. Primitive cultures have significantly more free time per day than we do.
Right.
Because you got to work, you got to hustle, you got to make money, you got to do this. Well, primitive culture, if you got food and shelter, you're set.
Right.
Now you've got time to make artwork. Why when people are like, I can't believe that, American Indian tribes had these ornately done things. Like, yeah, because they
killed their lion.
They have their time
to
do that and make that happen.
Bro, it's a lot of words.
No, just instantly.
Oh, okay.
So this is California.
That's a lot of words.
California Love in the style of Shakespeare. Typed it in and
Oh,
yes.
I love that. I love that.
That's kind of cool, actually. I feel like we should go back to the studio and record that.
Yeah.
Done. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna wear a suit and then that'll be my video.
Grandma's got all those beats.
Oh yeah, right.
Totally, we could totally do that.
Forsooth, the West Coast is the place where beats and rhymes do interlace. And from the Bay to LA's embrace, the music flows at breakneck pace.
Yes.
Infinite sun and sky so blue, the beach is white and ocean's true. California love, it is so new. A feeling fresh, yet tried and true.
I wonder if
that's what I'm talking about.
I wonder if you try to do that, if it'll match the beat. I feel like
it will.
Hey, if you take it back to the original, because Zapp, the band Zapp, originally did California Love,
Right,
and then
right.
the thing like
Zapp and
let's
Roger.
take it,
Here,
Roger and Zapp.
I got YouTube.
Zapp and Roger.
Zapp and Roger, who are from Dayton, Ohio, where I used to live.
All right.
And I did not find that out, and then I was like, oh, this is great. We had a funk museum there, like a bunch of their costumes and stuff from over the years. It was great stuff. I mean, great stuff. I'm like, more of that. I want more of that kind of thing.
So, are you ready to do this? You ready to sing this again? But
No.
I'm gonna do the beat.
Oh, I gotta find it.
Well, but you have to know the cue on when to go in.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Sorry,
I think that was it.
That was it.
So this first paragraph starts in, where he talks about the land of dreams. Remember, what's the line? The real line.
I don't know the lyrics to that song.
Which one?
Never mind. I don't know.
Okay. Thomas, tell us.
Yeah, we're here for like 4 more hours, right?
No.
About another half hour.
Please.
Not to be.
We got about a half hour left.
A South
Cool.
or a Family Guy character, but no. The Maid's my favorite. Yeah.
Sarah, I was watching Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah.
My favorite Eddie Murphy movies, by the way.
Right.
And Sarah goes, I can't hear the music without hearing Family Guy. The music they play throughout the whole movie.
That's a
I
good
can't hear it without hearing Family Guy. The Peters.
Right. Sorry, I got coffee shit coming on. I got all kinds of shit coming on.
Yeah,
I got
you do.
Scotty here from STL Cigars. Scotty, you want to come in and say hi?
Hey.
Yo.
Hey,
Yo.
Scotty, I am smoking an STL right now.
Yes,
Delicious.
Barber pole going
Yeah.
on.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
The last question I asked.
How you feeling, bro?
Good.
Better? Yeah? Everything's good? Nice.
Normal right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Fancy room set up here with everything going on.
Yeah, well, what the camera can't
I
see is
see.
like the body's fucking hanging there. So we just zoom in without that. So.
Spotlights and everything.
Yeah, it's a little different than the last time. Sky's been on the podcast.
They say that the Pacifica is the best minivan you can buy for the last, I don't know, however many years.
What?
Really? I thought the transmissions went out on those sooner than.
The Pacificas? No,
Yeah.
Pacifica's supposed to be superior to any other minivan right now.
Huh.
Well, I asked it about minivans. What's better, Japanese minivans or American minivans?
Comfort and
Shot me,
style.
like,
I tell you
Style,
what,
I
that
gotcha.
Pacifica we had up here in detail was fucking nice, man.
Yeah.
They're $35,000.
There's a Odyssey, first gen Odyssey in Japan, on Japan car, that I've been eyeballing.
Well, dude,
Oh,
I'm
sure.
about ready for a new truck. So we'll just drive this one down. It'll blow up. I'll pick up a new truck.
Right.
Pick it up. We're good to go. Oh, yeah, go ahead.
I know we have more talk to do, so
Page-
I'll
page
finish.
two.
I'll finish my question up, and then we can get talking. But it's the FMK.
Oh, the FMK. Let's go.
You know what the FMK is?
Fuck, marry, kill.
Damn it.
Now these are going to be.
I think
Are
Drew's
we
gonna, is
limiting
Drew-
it then to like out
Drew-
of?
Drew's like,
what's the limit?
abbreviating everything.
I abbreviated it first.
Yes,
okay.
he did. I was following Chuck's lead on that.
okay.
So-
Because last week
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if he wanted to say
Right.
it out loud.
Right.
So,
So we did what, kiss me.
right.
Yeah.
So these are all going to be people who are in the freak show.
In my freak show?
No, have
Oh.
been in a freak show.
Okay.
And see if you know the names. If you don't know the names, I'll tell you.
We're not gonna know any of the names.
I'll tell. I'll give
Well,
you.
it's not for
I'll
us.
give you a picture.
So
Oh,
F,
we have pictures?
F first.
Picture.
It would be the.
No,
No. I
no.
gave you the choices.
Yeah. No.
Oh, you give me
Yeah,
the choice.
you gotta
oh,
pick.
oh.
You gotta,
all right,
you
I'm
gotta
down.
fuck. You gotta fuck one, marry one, and kill one.
You're done. Okay, I'm listening. You got me.
Chelsea Charms.
Don't know who that is.
She has the biggest
Oh.
breast in the world.
Oh, okay. Oh, these are modern ones. All right, this may be.
No.
let's get the modern ones. All right.
We're combining.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like it.
Myrtle Corbin.
Which is
Ooh, hold on. She's
these
the
are.
lady-
I'm like, oh, this is
Myrtle Corbin was the lady who had 4 legs.
Ooh,
4 legs.
4 legs. Yeah, I know who it is.
The 4-legged girl from Texas. Myrtle Corbin.
Right there.
Show
Yep.
Chuck.
That's Myrtle Corbin. The 4-legged girl. And she was able to reproduce. She had children. And
Yes, she did.
And,
How many legs do they have?
Fucking exponentially.
Like an 8 leg.
Yeah.
Fucking centipedes coming out of this motherfucker eventually.
and Annie Jones,
Which one is
bearded
Annie Jo-
lady.
The bearded lady?
the original bearded lady, I guess.
Oh, yes. Okay, first girl is the fuck for sure. What was her name again?
Chelsea Charms.
Chelsea Charms.
72L.
72.
Is that even
no,
a-
she's the kill. I kill her. She's not.
Yeah,
I've
Really?
seen bigger.
I don't know if you
then
can. It's the biggest ever, right?
that's what they said.
That's what they say. The biggest ever.
Yeah, I've heard that. I hear that about everything.
Well, that's what I said to myself.
Yeah, exactly. I fuck the 4-legged girl and then I marry the bearded lady. And we share beard products.
Yeah.
Because we're like, no, not so much stuff in the bathroom now because we can. Got
Right.
grooming stuff going. We can braid our beards together and
Right.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
That
Sounds
fun.
like a nice lifetime.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I
Chuck?
hate FedEx.
I know.
Fucking hate
Sure.
FedEx.
You got
I'd
a
have to
4-legged girl
4-legged
I'd have
girl,
to go-
big-breasted girl, or bearded
I'd have
lady.
to go the big-breasted girl
for
for
the fuck.
and I'd have to go with killing the 4-legged because I just don't think I can deal with that. And I guess I'd marry the.
She'd be
bearded
running
lady.
around all the time.
I don't know what's the beard. What's the bearded lady even look like?
I mean, there you go. There she is.
Oh God, no, never
Oh.
mind. Never mind. I don't know. They have the 4-legged girl.
Is that the guy? Is that the fucking one
terrible.
guy? She looks like the.
That looks like Hinkle.
Kind of looks like Hinkle.
It does kind of look like
But
Hinkle.
who's Aquaman? Kind of looks like Aquaman a little
Oh, Jason
Oh,
Momoa, even
yeah.
more married now.
Yeah.
I'd marry Jason Momoa too. Shoot,
Yeah.
that guy's hot.
Didn't we have him on before? He was somebody's choice before.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I think we all married him too.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh yeah. Are you kidding me?
But now,
To sit around like
now
drinking Guinness,
that he's a
drinking whiskey
female,
and
now that he's a
smoking
real
cigars?
female, we're like,
Like,
nah, kill that
absolute-
motherfucker. I was cool when he was a guy, but if you're a girl, no, that doesn't make any sense at all.
So Jeremy.
Right. DMs are open. I'll be your Jeremy for a cash app. Me, man, I think I'd marry the four-legged girl. I
could see that. Absolutely. Yeah, that was a tough one. That was a tough.
Man, I got a lot of errands to run, bro. So I'm gonna
and then cheat with the bearded lady. That would be the
right. She's
real fast around the
She
house.
can help run my errands, bro. Like, I mean, if I put 4 Swiffers on 4 feet, bro, that floor is clean in no time. You know, I mean, you
Flying.
bro. Man, I'm like,
and put that on YouTube.
yeah, dude. I mean, so much money I could make there.
So much.
God, my OnlyFans would be like 6 legs, 1 dick. I mean, it's just a lot of possibilities there. I'm marrying her, dude, because that's a lifetime of entertainment. Yeah, of course I'm gonna bang what's her name, Jules? What was her?
The Chelsea Charms.
Chelsea Charms, and then I'm gonna kill Aquaman over there. So, Aquawoman, you?
I'm not interested in the big breasts.
Yeah, me either.
So I'd probably kill the Chelsea lady. Unfortunately,
I'd hit it.
That's not handy for much. I mean, she's not really.
I mean,
handy for much.
Look how
It's
small
not even reproductively functional.
And look
So
look how small your penis looks when it's in between them.
it's not even on the map.
Right? No,
great,
it's lost.
Yeah.
It's lost in there.
I think that it would be a toss up between the bearded lady and the four-legged lady because the bearded lady has a strong back. She has a lot of testosterone. You can tell. She can work.
Can work. Yeah.
So she can help me build shit and carry stuff around the rest of my life.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But then the four-legged lady, I love jujitsu, and she'd be really good at jujitsu.
Oh.
So
She would whip your ass in jiu-jitsu, bro. You can't. You're gonna be
I
fucking
would pay
humbled,
real money
humbled
to
every
watch
day
that
on the match. Yeah.
Want to leg wrestle?
Oh,
Yeah, bro. That's humbling, man.
absolutely.
Right.
oh man,
Yeah. I mean, if you
I can't go wrong either way.
if you put 2 legs on your shoulders, right, and you're with the 4 leg, where do the other 2 go? Do they go up there too, or
She
you wrap them around?
She wraps
Wraps
around
around
you.
you.
Sucks
It's
in.
like, yeah.
God damn it! That's why I married her, bro. There's just so many possibilities there. A lifetime of fucking entertainment. Yeah. But she had 2 of her legs were a lot smaller for the people that didn't see it.
Yeah.
2 of her legs were a
so
lot
look her up.
smaller.
Myrtle Corbin is her name.
Corbin.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're socked and shoed. So
I mean, they make shoes in all sizes, as we already disclosed
What
earlier.
about the 3-legged guy who his stunt was he would kick a football?
That's what they call
He would,
me.
Like, kick it. No, they don't. No, they.
That's what I call myself in the morning. Right.
I like to think they do. Jeez.
we have determined that's
Right.
You have to ruin it for me, buddy.
But he could like kick field goals with like his 3rd leg.
Right.
That's pretty.
I mean, I came with those little paper footballs.
Yeah.
Right. Got a nasty paper cut one time doing it. But
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I need to go take care of a little business.
So go take care of the little
All right.
business.
Cool.
No, man.
So when are you going to start doing shows?
So May 20th, we will be at the Alton Farmers Market. 4-person, so I'll have the whole family. We'll be doing 20-minute shows at the top of every hour. On the 21st, I'll be doing the Bethalto JC's fair. They have their community fair, and we'll be on the main stage.
Is it homecoming? No.
Okay.
No, homecoming's
No.
in September.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's in September.
That's in September, and then we head off to others. Then I'm back on the road again, heading off to doing a international steampunk symposium in June. Heading off then from there to several other things.
Do you know when the show starts on the 21st?
I do not. I just said we would do it. That was as far as I got.
You know that carnivals aren't the same anymore. The fair.
No, the carnivals
They're not
aren't
the
the
same
carnivals
anymore.
aren't the same.
You know the carnies don't pay you don't pay random people off the street to assemble the rides anymore.
Which is really too bad. Those were I remember a lot of people like they
They're
made
also
good money.
pretty damn sketchy though.
I mean,
Oh, the rides?
Yeah.
and the people.
I watched a guy. Hold on. I was waiting to ride a ride with my son. This was a few years ago. Waiting to ride the Zipper, which is you're sitting in a thing. It spins. The whole thing is going around like a chainsaw.
Right.
All the cars are, and then the whole thing is spinning like a Ferris wheel. And we're there, and all of a sudden I look at some bolts and stuff like fell off it, and we're lying in the grass. My son's like, "Should we still ride this?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna ride this."
Okay.
And then a guy came. wearing flip-flops and a pair of shorts and nothing else, scaled the whole thing and like found where those bolts went, I assume, and put them back on there.
Stuck
And I
him
was
in
like,
his pocket and climbed back down.
this guy
When I was
is
17,
my hero.
When I was 17, me and a buddy were walking, because I've lived in this area my whole life.
Okay.
We were walking through up there, just obliterated, just absolutely out of our minds.
Right.
Like, not far enough that you have no recognition of it, but far enough that you have no business working on anything, machinery or and the guy says, one of the people there goes, hey, you guys want to make $100? And of course we look at each other right off the bat because it's Carney, and we go, no. But and it was like come help us assemble rides. We'll give you $100 for the day. It's only going to take a couple hours. But we'll give you $100 for the day. So naturally we went and made $100.
I made $100 exactly.
With no business even holding a wrench in our hand, let alone. And we put carnival rides together, and I will not get anywhere near those carnival rides. You just saved my life. I won't nowhere near them.
You know the biggest difference I think between carnivals now and like carnivals 30 plus 30 40 years ago was that now a lot of them are working towards you get a card.
God damn, why would you date me like that? Oh fuck,
dude, you guys weren't even born. You kids don't even know. But you would go and you pay cash to play the game stuff. Well, now I've been to several fairs and carnivals where they give you like a swipe card. So you go, you don't buy tickets anymore. You buy swipe cards, and then swipe use them like ATM things. A bunch of places have that now. And you swipe your card to like play the games to keep the ride jocks and the carnies from
stealing the money?
From stealing the money, yeah, from skimming off the top. To which I'm like, I get it, but I'm also like, come on, man, they're hardly getting paid anything in the first place, and now you're gonna their extra money they can't make off that.
I just miss all the booths, all the stuff. I mean, it's just not. Maybe it's because I'm older, but it's just not the same as it was.
It's not the same.
Like, where's the cart selling underage kids ninja weapons?
Yeah,
where did that come? Where
nunchucks and throwing stars and knives and stuff like that.
I can't buy brass knuckles off some shady dude in a trailer.
and that's part of the and that's part of the fun. Frankly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think those things, that sort of seedy undertone, of it is a key point. And this is a conversation I've had with a lot of people with Freak Show Deluxe, with some people we work for, of like, a lot of places don't want to hire a Sideshow or Freak Show, like doing working act stuff, because it has this seedy tone to it. Yeah. Which I'm like, that's not a bad thing.
No, it's supposed to have that.
It should have that. It should have that risky sort of like, ooh, I'm looking at something I shouldn't be looking at, or I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. But now we can do it, like for us, for our show, but we can do it safely. We're not going to rip you off.
Right.
Like the whole, you're not going to come up to look at the strange thing in the box and it's just a mirror looking at you,
Right.
You're looking at a mirror like, boo. Well, there's actually like a strange thing in the box, like to look at, pay your $1 for.
I could just remember we would structure our whole, especially for the Bethalto Fair, because at the time, the Arboretum out there, I don't know if you've been to where they hold the fair now.
I have not been.
But there's an Arboretum walk.
Ooh.
Past the fairgrounds, there's an Arboretum walk where you walk through trees. Nice. But that was all cornfield on the one side. So we would structure our entire weekend as delinquent teenagers that just got high and drank all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We would structure our entire weekend. We would find the buddy we're going to stay with, and we would hang out all weekend long at the fair. And I just can't see doing that at the fairs these days. I just couldn't see where the...
Because there's I don't know. And then I want to be like, there's this weird thing that like people are like up to no good, and, like kids are getting in riots and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, but that was always a thing when I look back.
Oh, there was always
like that was always there were always fights, and there was always stuff. And I guess it's maybe that not that many kids were carrying guns. There were guns being carried by teenage kids when I was a teenager, certainly. But they weren't as quick to draw and start because it was also like, hey man, you're in a fist fight, and if you lose the fist fight, like that's the way it goes.
Well, yeah, because there was a respect thing. You wanted to get in the fist fight and win the fist fight. You didn't want to just shoot the dude.
Yeah,
that doesn't.
Right.
What's that make you? That doesn't make you the better guy.
And I think maybe the difference too now is because if we were talking about this and like moving lots of places, and one of the things we were looking at was crime rates, right? Shooting rates. Right. And one of the biggest things for some cities, like if you were to take out drug-related shootings and deaths and stuff. That's almost your entire
Right.
thing. That's so much of it. It just comes from that.
And you picked Alton, the only town in America that still has a crack cocaine problem.
Hey, I'd almost rather deal with that sometimes than like a meth or a heroin problem.
Crackheads are far better, man. They work.
Oh, they're more interesting.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
that's for sure.
Oh,
Not
yeah.
just
At
lying.
least they're
in the
awake,
alleyways.
yeah.
They're predictable too.
Yes.
Meth heads are
Meth heads are
woefully
unpredictable, and heroin addicts, man. It's like you always find them in the worst spot. They're leaving needles everywhere. Stuff like I don't like.
Well, yeah, and they're passed out all over the place.
Yeah.
So
nobody likes
this area, Cottage Hills and East Alton has a meth problem. Has a big meth problem.
Ugh.
And I deal with meth heads all the time.
Yeah?
Because they're just all over my neighborhood.
Oh, sure.
Shit, I know a lot of them.
Right.
So I know a lot of them. They transition from the smoking and drinking all the time to the meth, and then they never come back from it.
Right.
So, which is sad. So
It is.
But I mean, the heroin's a big deal too. I mean, I think the firefighters run more overdose calls than they do fire calls.
Because of fentanyl now, and with fentanyl being such a big issue. But I'll give the comparison now.
Yeah.
The city of Dayton, where we live, was 3 or 4 times the population of where we are in Alton. And I had, next door, we got obviously cameras and stuff because we lived in LA for crying out loud. Like that's we're used to that kind of thing. So we were looking at next door, and like we looked at Dayton, and our neighborhood, right, had like 30 police calls for various and sundry things. We looked for next door and where we live in Alton, nothing.
yeah.
Lost dogs and found dogs. That was
Yep.
the extent of it, which we're like, this is so much. We know who the meth heads and the crackheads and stuff are. Like, you can see, you recognize them.
Right.
You know, and that thing of like, well, we've lived lots of places, so we've seen lots of stuff, so it's a lot easier to pick out and be like, okay, that guy. Like, that couple right there, we know what they're doing. We're going to, like, we can either choose to ignore it or not, depending on what's happening.
You'd be surprised at the property crime, like in Cottage Hills, that has a meth problem. The property crime isn't that bad.
Yeah.
It really isn't. You get bicycles and stuff like that stolen.
Sure.
They're not like breaking into your house and committing home invasion. I mean, you get that once in a while. You get a home invasion or something, but
Oh, yeah.
for the
But
most
not
part,
as-
if you leave your bicycle out in the front yard, it's gone.
It's gone. That's
Don't
kinda,
leave your bicycle out in the front
Yeah.
yard. I mean,
Right.
that happened, but that's not. I mean, that it is the meth heads now doing that, but we were doing that when we were kids, so you just didn't leave your bicycle out. And I mean, I had 3 bicycles stolen from me when I was a kid. I'd leave them out in the yard and they'd be gone.
Oh, yeah, and they'd be gone. I had the same thing happen. But that was also guys like taking bikes and breaking them down and then reselling them for stuff, as opposed to somebody tried to break it. Yeah, exactly. So it's somebody trying to break into one of our cars one time to take the stuff to then trade to a dealer to like get more
Changing
heroin.
cigarettes.
And we were, and we caught him. And so we caught this person in our driveway breaking into the car. I come out, I got a stick first thing. I'm like, I yank him out, and I think it's a kid. It's not. It's some like old lady. And so I got her up against the wall, and she's like, keeps reaching for her pockets, and I keep taking the bat I have, just like cracking her hand with it, like, get your hands out of your pockets. And then she gets cut. Why? Because she has a knife in her pocket. She's going to try and stab it. She can't. Now her hand is bleeding. My partner's got a gun on her, calls the police, of course, like, I'm going to shoot this woman in my driveway if you don't get here. So 4 or 5 police cars roll up. I immediately dropped my bat, dropped to my hands and knees with my fingers interlaced over my head because I lived in California.
Yeah.
And LA sheriffs would shoot you just as soon as
Madison
not
County
caring
would
who
too.
you were. Yeah.
Madison
So I did
County
that,
would
and they're
too.
like, "Get up off the ground," and then they recognized the woman and called her by name because they were like, "We're never arresting somebody for the first time.
Right.
It's
No,
always
yeah.
their problem. We know who they are." Went to trial, given like 6 months. After 2 months, they're like, "Hey," DA called and was like, "Hey," because we appeared at the trial, and they're like, they want to put her out on get her an early release. We're like, this one has like 45 felonies, and you're gonna like really what else got a drug rehab program? So we went and we're like really pushed. We're like, no, don't let him out early the whole time because of this history of this and that. And but that's the tough part. I mean, we get kids at some places steal a car, steal a car. Get busted with said car, put in jail, out by the next morning, steal another car again, get busted again, and it's just it's an everyday cycle, and the frustration of law enforcement of like, we don't have places to keep them.
Well, so what you find out is it's not the cops. Everybody blames the cops for the revolving door. It's not. It's some of the cops, but it's not the cops. It's the judge. They just let them out.
And if you don't have any place to keep them, what are you supposed to? What are you supposed to do? I mean, do they bring back Do you bring back the stocks? Do you bring back... But does public shaming even work anymore?
No, because they're drug addicts. They don't care. They're
They don't
already
care.
ashamed of themselves.
They're already ashamed of themselves. Exactly.
So I try not to, but I seem to have this habit of every 10 years having a visit with just to remind myself of why I'm not that piece of shit no more.
Mm-hmm.
But every 10 years I seem to do something stupid and end up back in there for a night or two. And it's a terrible place. I don't understand why people keep going back.
I don't know.
But
I don't know.
can't
It's
fix
weird.
stupid.
Can't
That's why
fix-
ChatGPT is going to kill us all one day.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that absolute thing. It's never back for they're never there for the first time. It's
Nope.
over and over. These same
Nope.
cats, always the same excuses, the same arguments. Like, man, you can't keep doing that. You got to
Nope.
find another way.
No, well, and that's the problem. They don't ever. They get out and they go right back.
Right.
You can't do that.
Like, what'll it take for you to hit rock bottom?
Yeah.
Because no one really changes till they hit rock bottom.
And then it's always because I know so many of them. It's always this person stitched me. No, dude, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. You got out on meth charges and you went back to cooking meth. Duh.
Dumb.
And now you're saying that guy snitched on me for cooking meth. No, you went straight back to cooking meth as soon as they let you out.
I mean,
That's your problem.
Isn't that the deal with prison, though, is that there's not enough education as far as what people would actually benefit them?
Well, our prison system is slave labor. That's all it is.
Well, yeah.
So it's built for slave labor. That's it.
But I mean,
Yeah.
but there's no rehabilitation. So you go
There's
in there
no
and
rehabilitation.
you have people in there
That's
who
because they
are going
want
to teach
people.
you how to be a better criminal, right?
Because they
Right.
want people. Yeah, a better
Yes.
criminal. You're going to be taught how to be a better criminal by people that got caught.
By people that got caught. Well, you know, like pick up some things some skills maybe you didn't have before,
Yeah,
or something like that. But then you come out, maybe you can last a little longer, or you make connections, and then you get in with other stuff. And so when we start, a whole society talk, if you look at it, there's a number of factors, and one of the biggest ones, of course, is education. And I've always been sad because I have a master's degree, right? Not that that's a big deal, but I have a master's
And what?
degree. Communication, emphasis in theater. Good
Well,
job. My bachelor's is in English.
That makes sense.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually like using it, which I honestly never, I just went for the love of education. But one of the key points during my master's degree, where I was like getting really mad, and I was talking with the professor I went to study under, and he was like, "Look, man, our job, honestly, is just to throw as many roadblocks as possible in your way. How many hoops will you jump through to get this thing?
Right.
How much can you take? How much garbage can we shovel onto you?"
Right.
And I was like, and once I knew that, I was like, okay, that makes sense. And I graduated that bachelor's program with the highest grades I've ever had. I got to some honors society thing. I wasn't expecting any of that, but it really was. And I was able to really take advantage in a way that I probably didn't in my undergrad, where I was working my way through it, like working at a job and doing that kind of stuff. But how much it was, the whole point of any education system should be, and used to be, you are there to learn how to learn.
Yep.
No matter what, whether you went into, the car repair, you went into hairdressing, you went into, you studied chemistry. It was learning how to learn the processes for doing things. And they're not doing that anymore. And why aren't they doing that anymore? Well, I blame a lot of, and this is me, and I feel free to disagree, you're wrong, but feel free to disagree that George Bush's No Child Left Behind thing is what really did it. And then it put all these companies in place that believe that companies will help move things along. You had companies taking over schools and like, now we're managing this school. And they don't believe, because companies are there to make a profit. Schools don't make a profit.
Well, the education.
They're there to crank out.
Well, here's the thing. So
The education system, it's always been like, I can remember busy work instead of teaching me, busy work instead of, I can remember a whole load of it. Instead of teaching me how to do this, or this, they'd rather stick you in a study hall and make you do, or stick you here and make you do this.
And make you do
busy
this,
work.
or you're like, or you're
Right.
just regurgitation of facts
It's-
and stuff without ever giving any context of like, this is important for this reason. It's not really important. Are you going to use like some of this math later? No, most of you probably won't. But
No. My teacher's
no, all that whole, you're not
carrying
carrying around a calculator like,
Damn.
here it is. But if you don't understand the concepts behind it, if you can't learn how to do it, and I think that's like for a lot of boomers, like they can't learn new stuff.
But
It's not all their fault either. Because,
It is not.
because you have in your hand a wealth of all the knowledge you could ever want.
But-
You can educate yourself on anything you want to educate yourself on.
You could.
It's the absolute refusal to do it.
It's yes, you could do it, but also if you don't know how to research, if you don't know how to look for credible sources, if you don't
so
know look for
easy
you're
now,
not-
though.
it's so easy, but so many people just from the bat don't know how to do it. Dealing with kids a lot of times, I was like, well, why, Google it, like look it up. Well, they're all looking it up on YouTube, and I'm like, why are you looking stuff up on YouTube?
It's not a credible
There's all
source.
these college libraries up on peer-reviewed works, and then you get some of these cats, and this is government-wise, and we all know they're all scumbags across the board. But all these government people are like, well, I don't care what a doctor says. I've done my own research. I'm like,
Right. No.
I don't believe.
Well,
you.
here's the other thing about that too, though. How did the doctor get to know what he knows?
because some rep
he
showed
knows
up.
how to read.
Well, some rep showed up and told him what the pharmaceutical company wants him to say.
Or
He knows how, but he knows how to read.
But he knows how to read. But more often than not, and what we've run into is that now a big corporation owns the medical company that runs the hospitals and those doctors. Who's
Right.
like, you're going to listen to this rep.
Well, and
you're going to do. You need to do things this way.
So-
Yeah, but that doesn't help me give the best work to my clients and
yeah.
customers. They're like, we don't care. You know what? If it's going to cost too much to make this person better, we're not going to make this person better. And none of that's. And most of that is not the doctors. It's these companies above them.
Yeah,
Well-
it's because the pharmaceutical companies own the hospital.
Well, yeah. So you know, like there's a lot of these. I think we may have talked about it before, but a lot of these pediatricians' offices, right? That doctor, he gets a kickback for having a certain percentage
Yep.
of his patients vaccinated.
Yeah.
If they aren't, a certain percentage of vaccinated, he doesn't get. So that's an imperative for him to get all these people vaccinated, regardless of the side effects of what can be caused by it. Because he's going to get money for it, right? So, he or she can get money for it, and that's terrible.
But I also think of like we've got a reemergence of these various diseases that we thought were wiped out because these people who've done their own research are choosing to not vaccinate kids. So now you have these reemergence of scarlet fever.
I had scarlet fever when I was a kid.
I understand that.
Terrible.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
If your kid's sitting there, and there's a gun to that your kid's head, and there's a 1 in 50,000 chance that your kid's going to have a lifelong neurological problem because you got a vaccine, right? And they're saying you have to get it. Same thing, you pull the trigger, there's 1 in 50,000 chance
1 in 50,000 chance.
that bullet's going to go off and blow your brains out of your kid. Are you going to do it? Without them making the choice for themselves.
Yeah.
My kids are not vaccinated because they can make the choice for themselves when they're ready. And none of them have been sick. They're super healthy. None of them has autism. None of them has any of these weird anxiety disorders. None of that stuff, right?
But I've had my kids have all been vaccinated. They haven't had any of those things.
But
either.
there is kids that have those things. So
But did they? And then it comes down to, was it that, or was it a
Right.
combination of other
That
things?
goes back-
Were they doing and then the parents? What about genetics? What about all these other
Right.
aspects?
That goes back to the new vaccine thing. And I know that you're hopefully against it. But that goes back to that, like
What new vaccine thing
Was
are we
it-
discussing specifically?
was it the newest one, the big hot topic one?
The COVID?
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it the vaccine that caused these heart issues, or was it improperly administered? Because you've got that as a factor, or was it a
pre-existing condition that was worsened.
or is it something? Or is it something else that we're not looking at, that we're refusing to look at because there's too much money in it? So
And it's not that we're not wanting to look at it, but these companies, these pharmaceutical companies, were brushing it under like, hey man, we need to make money doing this thing.
We've had this. Me and Drew have had this conversation before. I think that some of these heart issues that you're seeing nowadays, because if you go back and you look, because I have done the research, I know how to do research. If you go back and you look and you follow the timeline, heart complications have gone up immensely since about. I think the year was 1997. I don't remember the year exactly, but since 1997, and there was become a very popular product that was introduced in 1997. One brand specific. I'm sure they were around before.
Capri Suns.
One brand Pacific came on the market in 1997, and these products have exploded since then. Energy drinks.
Yeah.
And I know for a fact, because I know a guy with a defibrillator in his chest, and it's all because of these energy drinks.
Let's not forget too, and this is important too, the amount of hormones in the food, which was never a thing before. So you have this rise in obesity. The whole idea of like there's no more like fat people because, you know what? Oh, you know they used to market a 350-pound guy. I got like 5 friends who are 350 pounds right now. Right. You know, and some of them are kind of they work out, they do stuff, they weigh 350 pounds. They're not unhealthy necessarily, but it's all of these things. So when you start adding the hormones in the vegetables and the fruits and the animals and in the milk, in all this other stuff of like, and the product, the containers that they're kept in. I have a friend who won't drink anything out of aluminum cans because of the idea of like, well, you're getting this and this and this out of it.
Aluminum's safer than a plastic bottle.
By
far.
But even still, like some people still want, he'll only drink out of glass bottles. Like that's his deal. Well, what if it wasn't clean? You end up with getting trichinosis or something from a bottle that hasn't been pasteurized enough. And then also the idea of so much antibacterial soap, ultra pasteurized foods and these things, so your body doesn't build up the natural. We grew up with whole milk, like we bought them from like old order, like Amish people.
You didn't swim in a creek you peed in 10 minutes ago and then walked downstream and went swimming in it. So
yeah, I mean,
right. Yeah, you didn't. These kids aren't doing that these days.
No.
But back to it's me and him have had this conversation several times. There's so many things involved that you can't just go, it's that's doing it, that's this, that.
No.
Plus, there's so much ignorance involved in the argument. I'm not saying that everybody's argument on it comes from an ignorant place, but there's so much of it out there.
Right.
You can't trust. A lot of the information you're getting, you can't trust because it comes from some ignorant son of a bitch who's just on his side of the aisle and refuses to see any other side of the aisle.
So my arguments are like this, and I don't care if somebody gets their kids vaccinated or not. It's their choice, and I want them to respect my choice, right? So if they work so well, what do you care if my kids are vaccinated or not? The population will never reach herd immunity. Ever. It's impossible.
Oh no, that's that whole idea of herd immunity is
but that's their argument.
It's garbage.
Yeah,
that's garbage.
Right.
That is a garbage thing. Herd immunity is a garbage thing, and it is one of those buzzwords that somebody started using, and now like a bunch of people are talking about it. So some of the people who are in the know have to be like, "Fuck, man, I have to use this phrase because it's the only thing that people are gonna understand." Yeah. It's also that, what is that thing of like, well, if there was like a bowl of 1,000 Skittles and I told you 3 of those were poison, would you still eat those Skittles? And I'm like, yeah, you've underestimated how much I like Skittles. Yeah, right. I will totally I will eat those Skittles.
Do you eat the peanuts set out at the bar? Because that's all full of all kinds of crap.
That's why I'm strong.
I mean,
well, I did break out it was the bar mix at my favorite bar that actually broke one of my teeth out.
I mean, and it's created extra hassle.
But did I stop eating it? I did not.
You know, with school and everything else.
Oh, sure.
But here's the thing. So when they're old enough to make the informed decision on their own, because I don't know what's in their epigenetics, I don't know what's going on, and if I give them a shot and it fucks their whole life up, I don't want to be the person responsible for that.
But will they inform themselves? And if they inform themselves, will they inform themselves properly?
Hopefully I've led them down that path with what I do. You know what I mean?
That's the question.
But as a parent, you have to look out for your kids, and you have to do the best you can for them. For us, that decision was like the vaccination. I wasn't happy with the rollouts. I wasn't happy with a lot of the stuff. But I was like, I also lost a lot of people from COVID, and a lot of them because they didn't get vaccinated. Their refusal to get vaccinated, their refusal to quarantine, and every time somebody says that, and then they're like, "Well, maybe they had a pre-existing condition." I'm like, "Well, we'll never know."
I don't exactly believe that either.
You're saying I'm a liar.
I'm not. No, I don't. No, I'm sure you've lost people. I don't exactly believe that their refusal to get vaccinated. I think they probably would have had the problem anyway.
No,
I think that because
every single person that I lost that I knew of that I wasn't, and I'm not even talking about the people.
But had they been vaccinated, they may have had the issue. Even if they had been vaccinated, they may have had the issue anyway. There's no telling.
My biggest one is the most painful. No. Really good friend of mine. He refused to get vaccinated, and then lives in Florida, was playing gigs and stuff out with his band, got COVID. Ended up with complications because he got COVID.
Right.
And he got it. Why? Well, maybe it wasn't because he didn't get vaccinated, but it sure was because he was out doing stuff and not being safe. And then it collapsed his lungs, and he was getting better, and then he had a relapse, and they couldn't
Yeah.
They couldn't pump his lungs back out because of the complications he had, all these things. He didn't have to die. He was a healthy guy. He could have just, by doing anything, maybe not get the vaccine, but maybe not be like, there is no such thing. I'm going to go out and do this.
That's a buzzword, too. You talk about herd immunity being a buzzword. Healthy is a buzzword as well.
Oh, it's
what's healthy?
Healthy is a garbage phrase. I mean,
healthy?
if you're not sick, well, healthy, I would say, is someone who's not regularly ill or doesn't need some sort of device to keep them
right,
alive
but
on the regular.
That doesn't necessarily mean you're healthy. That doesn't. You could. I mean, do you know that you don't have some sort of illness? Do you know right now that you don't have some sort of complication inside of you right now? You don't.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't.
aware actually of a couple of.
I don't. Right.
I'm aware of a couple
but
of
you know what
things.
I'm saying. I don't. How healthy are you at any point in time? You don't know. You have no idea.
Which is all the more reason you should depend on, which is where we get into.
Medical
you should be
science.
able to depend on doctors. You should be able to depend on your local physicians
But
to
you
do it.
can't because
but
they're funded,
they are being
bought and sold.
And the key comes, you have to do something about it. So this is where maybe we get it, and this is why maybe there should be socialized medicine so that you can't buy them and sell them.
Right.
I mean, the government's paying for stuff, but then you also look at insurance companies who are getting great deals on medical stuff, who are charging ridiculous amounts of money.
They don't care what the bottom line is.
They
for
don't care
investors.
as long as because do we have time for this? Because you guys were talking about something because I listened to a couple podcasts when I was driving this last drive that I had. So I was like, oh yeah, and we were talking about pharmacies and stuff like that. No, man, the real problem is insurance companies
Insurance
who
is
are the
scam.
ones really making the difference.
And
Of what gets paid for and what doesn't, and they're getting these great deals of like, you know, and there's always some guy on radio talking about like, well, I went to my doctor, said I'm paying cash, and got stuff for like a quarter of the price. Yeah, because
85% of the price.
absolutely
Less, you know.
I get it.
But also they're not publishing their prices and stuff, so you got that issue too. It's all of these interconnected things, and what do? I say burn it all down and start over.
Go to Mexico.
I agree.
Go to Mexico. You go to Mexico, get treatment.
Minus getting carjacked and murdered in front of your family. But if you can make it through the northern part to the hospital, it's a fucking resort. You can have any surgery you want for less than nothing, and then you could. And
that includes your travel, and it includes everything. You can go to Europe. I got sick when we were in Germany, for example, and they sent me to like a doctor because I drank the water. So I don't know. But I got sick from something. It was something I ate, I'm pretty sure. And man, they treated me and stuff. Never saw a bill, never saw anything. Like, no, man, if you're here, we want to make sure that you can leave. Get you as healthy as possible to go. Africa was the same, you know, I didn't get medical treatment in Africa. I had a couple people look at me, but that was it. And they're just like, drank the water, didn't you? Don't do that, man. Drink the bottled water.
Don't do that, man.
Just thirsty.
You brought up Africa a couple times. Were you in the like Cape Town, South
Senegal
area?
No, I was in Senegal, Western Africa.
Western Africa.
Senegal is cut by the Ivory Coast in there. It's a French control, still a French run territory. When I was there, and when we've traveled Europe and Australia and stuff, my parents, who traveled constantly, were very much people of like, when you go someplace, you need to live like the locals. The French who are there, they drive their cars. They try to avoid the locals as much as possible. Right. But we were like riding the buses with everybody else. Now, understand, and this is a prime example of my like derping my way through life. At one point, my dad's students came to the house. I was like 21 or something, 22 maybe. The couple of students came to the house. We're like, hey, we're going off to do whatever, you know, go to the nightclub. Does your son want to come with us? My dad's like, you want to go? I'm like, yeah, sure. Derp. I go off. At some point, we're going to people's houses. I realize I don't know where I am. Any of the, even the names of the people I'm with. Nice. I don't know where we're going. I don't have a map of this town. And yet, here I am in Africa, wandering around just like doing stuff, being like, man, yeah, really, you know,
at least
God protects idiots, children, and ships called Enterprise.
At least you planned on going to Africa. Like Chuck would just wake up in Africa. Like
no, I don't fly.
6 months later. You don't fly.
We'd be like, where'd he go?
Yeah, bro. You hit the peyote, bro, and you'd be in Africa. You wouldn't even know.
I still wouldn't fly.
And I didn't speak any of the languages.
Be like Mr. T, bro. It's like you'd have to knock him out and fly.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I still wouldn't fly. I don't care how much the universe I'm in contact with. I'm pretty sure I still wouldn't get on.
Yeah, you took it in the butt 6 times in that van, and then So
And then we're like, I got to stop drinking that beer. It makes my blood.
At least there was enough time passed that it wasn't sore anymore.
right. So I mean, that's what I'm
Something to
saying.
be
If you
thankful
didn't
for.
remember all that, you wouldn't remember a flight.
Something
So
to
you
be
just-
thankful for.
Yeah.
I mean,
You gotta find the highlights of
that's
the
right. Silver
of-
linings.
yeah.
It's all silver linings.
Right.
I'm all about, I don't know. It's that thing of like, yeah, I'm willing to take risks. I'm not necessarily willing to risk other people. So with Freak Show Deluxe, for example, there's no act I would let anyone do that I'm not willing to do myself.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
Nice.
Now,
nice.
I can't do some of them. I don't have the talent or I don't have the skill. I've tried it, so I'm like, okay,
you don't
I
have,
know
you
the
don't have
deal.
the 72Ls.
I know that, yeah.
Right.
Do not to
Wow.
like smash cans and stuff. Yeah.
Oh,
The-
yeah, right?
Oh, that's the one girl I know with gigantism
Right,
and
right.
it's in her boobs. That's her deal. She like smashes cans stuff.
Was
She'll
she-
also take a chair
she at Sturgis?
and hold it.
She was at Sturgis one time, wasn't she?
Who knows?
I think I saw her at
I can't
Sturgis.
keep track of that.
She's just like, whash, whash.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like the Gallagher, but with titties. So,
You're in the
Go
splash
sit
zone,
in the
baby.
front row.
You're in the splash zone.
right.
Right
You're
there.
just-
Yeah.
Right. Got your tarp? Tarp's off, boys.
Boy.
Thomas, it's been fantastic having you on. Have you guys plugged where shows were going when I was out?
Yes,
Okay,
the May
awesome.
20th at the Alton Farmers Market. Please come down and check that out.
Yeah, that's
Top
good.
every hour, and then the 21st at the Bethalto JC's.
Oh
Carnival.
yeah.
And then keep an eye out because we're going to be doing some other things. These are sort of our introduction to town. I hope you like it when you come out.
So, how would people keep up with you? Do you have a social media that you do?
All the social media is at Freak Show Deluxe. All your favorite social media: Facebook, Twitter, Tinder, phones
Grindr.
only,
Instagram.
Instagram,
Grinder.
Facebook, Grinder.
Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah.
all that.
I'm on there.
And we have a YouTube channel. We have our website, freakshowdeluxe.com,
Yep.
which is being redone currently. So, but you can see a list of acts, some great photos and videos, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And enjoy it, man. We're all about
Having fun.
having fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
the shows are fun. We're
Yeah.
not having. If the audience isn't having fun, we're not having fun.
I can tell you that. So we've hung out. I don't know, too many times to count already since you've been here, and I've had an absolute blast just doing random shit with you and the whole family. Which has
I'm
been
glad.
Well, I don't hang out with Charlotte. I think she's better than me.
She'll
But
stab you. You got to
yeah.
watch out for that
yeah,
one.
there's something shifty
Yeah,
there. So
absolutely.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh,
All right.
And always after you meet the kids, you got to check. Make sure you got your wallet. Because they learn
Sleight of hand?
They learn pickpocketing stuff from these
All right.
carny guys.
Let's wrap this up.
All right, wrapping it up.
Wrap it up, Chuck.
I send one back?
Wrap it up. All right, bye.
What does that mean?
Oh,
All right.
no.
Oh,
Hey,
see ya.
We're out. What?
You gotta say like, follow, subscribe,
Yeah, you got to
leave
like,
a
follow,
comment,
and subscribe. Come on, man.
share.
Share it.
and all that
Come
and
on.
whatnot. So it's been a great episode. Thanks for coming on and hanging out and
I hope
talking.
you guys like. I'd love to anytime. This is awesome.
Yeah, I got a billion more questions I could ask you, and
Totally.
hope you didn't take any offense to my
Not
vaccine-related.
Even a little.
talk.
We didn't even get into Hollow Earth theory.
Son of a bitch.
I
Love
know.
Hollow Earth Theory.
I do
love
love
Hollow
Oh,
Earth
totally.
Theory.
It's
Yeah.
absolute flat planet. Suck it, man.
No, there's
Follow Earth.
there's a lot of Hollow Earth shit.
Yeah.
The,
love
repti-
Hollow
the,
Earth
the reptilians are there, Chuck.
We haven't even,
And they're in
yeah, we
government.
didn't talk about
You ain't telling
cryptids.
me.
Oh, dude, when we moved here and I found out there was a cryptid, we have our own cryptid in Alton. I was like,
Oh, the Paisaw bird.
this is the best thing ever. I got a guy who says he thinks he's got a mummified Paisaw bird.
No, he don't. He don't.
It's kind of like that mermaid.
bird.
It's kind of like that mermaid.
The
that
Fiji
guy.
mermaid
Fiji
thing.
mermaid,
Oh, and everyone knew that was fake, except
Dude, I'll tell you what. Me and my wife,
Yeah?
Melissa, we were out, got shit faced one night. This is when we first kind of got together, and we came home, and on the History Channel, they had this episode about mermaids.
Ah,
And dude, it looked real. They had the dude from fucking Ancient Aliens with the hair, the crazy
with the hair, yeah.
Yeah, the guy.
Aliens.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That but-
Giorgio Tsoukalos.
Yeah, and a bunch of other dudes, and they were going on and on about this mermaid, and we were like, holy shit, and they were showing these mermaids and stuff, and went the whole thing, we watched it for like an hour and a half, and at the end they were like, this shit's fake as fuck, and they made it seem real the whole time. We were
They made
so
it seem
they
real the
sucked
whole
us
time.
in,
Right.
they sucked us in, man. I was
Right.
like, you sons of bitches.
Right.
I felt so stupid.
I can't believe people still watch that stupid show where they're just digging a big hole. What is that show?
There's
Something Island.
Oak Island.
Yeah, Oak. I can't believe
wait,
people still watch
what?
that.
There's an island. There, what?
Oak Island. They're
Looking-
digging a big
looking
hole
for a
in the
treasure
island
or
for
something. I
And
don't know.
it's like 7 seasons deep, and it's always wood. We found more wood.
We found
they
more-
still haven't found.
Oh,
this
it's
treasure.
that one that
Fuck
keeps
outta here.
flooding. Yeah, man, they've been doing that for like
7
100
seasons.
years,
7
digging
seasons.
in there.
It's just more wood.
Ridiculous.
We found wood.
Yeah.
Oh, look at what wood. Stay tuned for what they find. It's wood.
It's what?
Hey.
Is it like
Spoiler.
Ronaldo Rivera
It's wood.
and the
Yeah, like,
Uncle
share, and
Pope's
follow.
vault.
And
thing.
the Titanic safe he opened and it was nothing in it.
Nothing there, yeah.
Fucking cocksucker. Anyway, all right. Hey, thanks everybody.
Like and follow. We love you.
Yeah.
Not you. Everybody else.